matches, but he kept playing. And then after a while, he started learning what I did and everything. So the matches became more even. And I like that better. I like it when people stay in your match no matter what game, so that you have like these cool matches instead of people when they play Smash. And I hate this, you're standing there and you're winning, and these dudes just jump off the platform and they stop playing. Or in Rocket League, they stop driving. It's like, bitch, play the fucking game if you're playing it.
Yeah,
or at least vote to forfeit.
I was gonna say, if you've seen some of the rage clips they had online of people playing Smash, it's usually one or two things: either they commit suicide, or they just unplug the controller and just walk the fuck away. It
I
is
think
the funniest shit.
once this dude like wanted to commit suicide, and I jumped after him and like spiked him at the ravine. That was so satisfying. That shit.
Jesus,
Bitch ass, quit
that's
that.
like I think that's my favorite shit, to be like you're in the middle of a tournament match and then all of a sudden, oh, you got him with a falcon butt. Fuck this shit. And I've seen people break their GameCube controllers. It is the funniest shit. They'll just sit and go, fuck.
What the hell?
Would you guys, any of you see that? I think I retweeted it. Somebody was in Smash. It was Zelda against Falco, and
Yeah, I saw that you posted that.
and the dude was up 2 stocks to 1, and he knocked the guy off the stage, and he started taunting, and then Zelda got back up, and he like hit him again. He taunted again, and then the dude just went on a tangent and just destroyed him. He was taunting from the other side of the screen. He teleported and got a KO. And then he come back, and these guys play so fast. I don't know how they can make these characters move faster than it seems possible. And then he come back and I forget, the dude was trying to recover, and he hit him again. And then Falco has that side dash, and he like perfectly timed Zelda's like down A and just spiked the dude. It was just fucking brilliant.
You know, that's actually, there's a combo. There's a name for that combo. It's called the taunt to get body combo.
Yeah. It was glorious.
That shit is funny as hell.
And that happened to me. I was playing Rocket League and we were up 4-0, and these dudes, I think it was a doubles match, and these guys were just missing just easy saves. And I'm like, come on, Orange Team. I was like, what rank are you guys? Because they were on a team. Next thing I know, it's 4-4. And I'm like, fuck. And then they won 5-4 in overtime. I was like, God
That's
damn
the
it.
worst feeling ever.
I should have just let them be shitty. I think one guy at the end, it shows one guy was like my rank, the other guy was unranked, so he's probably a way higher skill level, and he was just hadn't played yet to get a rank. Because every season you have to redo your matches to get ranked. And I'm like, why did I say anything? I was like, fuck. And then I was like, Bob, my teammate had all the goals. I ended up not doing.
Oh, and that's even worse.
Yeah.
You talking mad shit.
Mm-hmm.
Made him come back, and you didn't even score.
That I could blame somebody for, but he was cool. So GG at the end, he was. But as far as Retro's point about staying in there, like I was playing 1v1s that usually use that to warm up, because I don't really care about getting ranked in that. But the problem with a lot of the Rocket League stuff is guys that, let's say they were like super high, like diamond or something, and they haven't played this new season's only a couple weeks old, so they're doing their placement matches. And so I got paired up twice in a row against guys that at the end didn't have a rank. And they were just wiping the floor with me. Like, it's like I was a rookie again, and they are just, everything felt like they had boost constantly, getting to the ball before me. And this guy was just wrecking me. I'm like, it's 6-2 with like 2 minutes left. I was like, fuck this, I'm out. I forfeit. Like there's times where there's no way I'm gonna sit there and just keep getting scored on, but
that's why with Rocket League, I usually, when I get back into it and a new season starts, I like wait like a couple of weeks before I actually start playing, because else I'm getting fucked in those ranked matches.
Mm-hmm. So I wish I probably
quitting bitches.
I should have stayed and just tried to learn, some tech.
You gotta take your ass whooping sometimes. You gotta take it.
But it was tough. But then the next guy called me a Smurf, which is, I don't know if that's like a general term for gaming, but in Rocket League that means that you're a really high skilled level, but you either purposely D-rank or you use another person's account that's lower and then just crush people. Well, I got a kickoff goal, and I made a nice aerial and flipped and hit it in before he could get there, and he's like, "You fucking Smurf." and then he ended up beating me.
I couldn't do it.
I think it was like 5-2.
That's such a weird statement.
Yeah, because I don't know what it.
I used to hear it just in Rocket League, but I think a week ago I heard in a video I was watching for something. I don't know. Somebody used it in Overwatch as well. So I think it's a general term at this point.
Yeah, there's got to be a reason. I
But
don't
it
know.
comes
I'm
because
gonna
of the blue
Google it
guys.
while you guys are talking about it.
You fucking Smurf.
Yeah, so I'm like,
Yeah, you
I
blue
was
white
like-
hat motherfucker.
I was like, I've never been called that before. Thanks, because that's a compliment. But then a guy, and I think I lost 5-2 or something.
He
Like,
took you out. He
You
called you a
call me
Smurf,
Papa
and then
Smurf.
it took you out of your game, and you failed.
nah, I think. Well, I saw he was unranked at the end, and he definitely was He was driving the ball up the wall, jumping off, hitting, and then like dribbling the ball in the air above me. Like, yeah, I'm the
Calling people
Smurf.
Smurfs.
Like, so, yeah. Welcome to the podcast, Robert.
How's it going?
Let me see.
Do you want Terrell? Are you gonna let Robert know what video you're working on? You want it to be a secret?
No, be a secret. Yeah.
Okay,
Well,
nice.
I'll just say the reason I came in a little bit later was because
Because you came.
not because what's it called, that fucking I was playing Smash and this fucking wolf guy, yo. I looped him like 6 times in a row. I'm like, all right, come on, one more time. I got this guy. And he was pretty good. I got him down to, it was he had like 100 something damage. I had 100 something damage, and he just got one more hit in me, and I died. And I'm like, fuck, I gotta go to this podcast.
You gotta go. You gotta come in here sad.
Yeah, I
gotta
was
come in
gonna
here a
come
loser.
all victorious, but like no. Nah,
How many
nah,
self-destructs did you do in that? No.
None
None?
actually. Just it just dude was good. He was really damn good. So I didn't know.
That's
Like
what-
honestly, like it's weird with Wolf. Like I feel like I knew all his moves, but like I when I'm playing him with him, I'm like, what the fuck are any of these moves? I don't remember any of these. I think he's
So
just a
si-
hacker, yeah.
Side note, I found out what a Smurf is. A Smurf is essentially the way it's explained on some of the Reddit posts I've seen is this: if you were like a low tier rank in, like, let's say Rocket League, but you play way above the rank that you are, so people think that you're on like a second account, intentionally looking weak, intentionally having a weak rank, but demolishing everybody in a match. So they think that's a Smurf. That's what they call a Smurf.
It doesn't say what the source is. Like, what? I wonder where Smurf came.
I don't know why it's specific. I guess because the concept of a Smurf is that they're like these weak, tiny blue creatures, but they're actually way more developed than we
Smurfy.
think they are.
Yeah, maybe.
They're like roaches.
But
Usually,
essentially, that's just what it is. Apparently, you were playing way too fucking good, and they were like, "Why the fuck are you still this rank? Oh, this is probably your second account, you piece of shit." That's the idea.
yeah, because
Well, that's a
people actually,
compliment then,
people, yeah, it was. I took it as a compliment, and I wish I could have backed it up, but
It is. It just pisses people off because it's in their mind, it's like you're misleading them.
well, just stay on this topic of idiots and online. This guy was obviously a Smurf because he would score, and then in this really like advanced way, and then I'm driving around and he's just toying with me, and then all of a sudden he's hanging in the corner and just lets me score, and I'm like, what the fuck? And then he's doing this like area off the ceiling stuff, and I happen to get a save, and then I was like, scored again, and then he just like quickly just pulls off another advanced move, scores on me, and with 1 second left, he forfeited to give me the win. And he stayed there. He didn't leave. So I'm like, dude, I was like, what? This is the most annoying match I ever played. He's like, oh, man, I did you a favor. I let you win. I'm like, I don't want you to let me win. I said, why are you playing in gold 2 when you're obviously way above that? And he's like, oh, it's fun. I'm like, no, it isn't. It's like, this is no fun for the other person. You're sitting there just toying around. It's like a cat playing with a mouse or something. It's just like, this is not fun to, I mean,
Douche nugget.
I guess to him it's fun.
Douche nugget.
But I was like, I didn't even
I love
appreciate
that. Fucking T over in the background, like, I've been writing these jokes down for years, son. I got ready on the ready.
It's just like I don't know
Turd
how
biscuit.
that's fun. How is that fun to somebody? I don't know.
No, some people like it's almost like it's your way of fucking with people. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, he
It's
doesn't look
trolling.
threatening.
It's like trolling.
Yeah, it's like those kids who know like black belt level karate and walk into and try to and intentionally get into a fight and take like 6 or 7 hits and then just go, oh yeah, and then just proceeds to whoop everybody's ass. It's like, why the fuck did you give us that? Oh, I just like to crumble your confidence. It's like I want to build you up so I can tear you down even further.
I think half the time it's also just people who actually feel like shit about themselves because they suck, you know, and they're like, let me just pick on some of you weaker people. I'll feel a
Retro,
bit more
you didn't tell
important
me
than
you were a therapist. When did this happen?
Well, what it really is if they played against people that are true rank, then they're going to have to deal with getting beat and losing. Well, this guy was a weird exception, but a lot of these guys are just out there stunting on you and they're winning. And it's just because I've done it. I've gone back to casual mode just to play around. And most people that play casual are pretty new to the game. And I'm like feeling like Superman out here, you know, doing 4, 5, 6 goals and doing all this aerial and stuff when people are stuck on the ground. And, you know, it does feel cool for a match or two. But then it's like, I'd rather have the challenge. I'd rather lose in a close match than play.
I think the equivalent to that is like getting really maxed out in level and skills in an RPG, and then going back to like a lower tiered area and just fucking everything up for the hell of it.
Yeah, you do that for a little bit, but then it gets.
Oh no, yeah, it gets stale
boring.
eventually, but sometimes you just want to flex, all right?
That's exactly why I said this shit earlier with Smash. Like, if I am fighting somebody who's just whooping my ass and like trying to beat him, is so much more fun than spending the whole evening just wiping the floor with everybody all the time. There's no fun then. You're just wasting time, I feel, at that point.
Yeah. It depends on how they're like if they're beating you and then taunting after every time, then I'm just like, yeah, dude, I'm out of here. You know, I wouldn't. It's one thing to be better than me, and I'm gonna be stubborn and I'm gonna try to beat you. But if you're like sitting there taunting and after every hit, then I'd probably bail on that person in that situation.
He's like, oh, that's a win. I made him run away.
Yeah.
I hate it that they disabled taunts in Smash Online. I hate it that they disabled that.
Yeah,
The thing with the taunt is like, yeah, you can like make people angry, fuck with them, but it always came with like a cost because you're like vulnerable when you do it.
Well, you
So
can
I
still
felt this
taunt, it
is
just
risk
doesn't.
reward thing.
It doesn't have the phrases anymore. It just does the action. In Smash 4, you had the phrase you could tie to the taunt.
Yeah, I like the taunt anyway.
With friends, I think that should be there though. Like,
I mean, no matter what the online game is, people are going to find a way of quote unquote teabagging, so to speak.
Yeah.
And taunting in Smash is essentially that form of teabagging. All right.
Speaking of Smash, in the live chat, click that link I just second from the last.
I feel like you were just.
And that's Terrell's channel. It's a moment from our Smash night where we're all picked random, and it was just, you got to watch it. Like you can tell somebody it because I explained it to Clocked It and Retro Death and those and T.
Yeah, I think you were explaining it in the chat, and I said, "Fuck it, let me just upload."
Their reaction wasn't much, but then when they saw the video, you could tell the difference in the reaction.
Because you guys said the teabagging thing, I like using it in Smash to like communicate with people. I think a while ago I recorded that match. It was one of my favorite matches, and I was such a dick. Like I was DK, and it was
You're
like
always
3
a dick
versus
with DK.
it was a 3 versus 3 match. You know, I was DK. Somebody else was King K. Rool, and then another person, and we were fighting all evening. And then a third person came in, and he played like Ryu or some shit. So in the beginning of the match, I did like the teabagging, and like the King K. Rool was teabagging, and we had like this inner Donkey Kong game understanding. We just started destroying the Ryu guy together. It was so much fun.
Yeah, it's called being a piece of shit.
Retro finds enjoyment in things that maybe others find annoying. I've noticed.
I don't know why. I thought you were gonna say something way meaner than that. I thought you were gonna say Retro finds enjoyment in things that make him a bad person.
Like just like that teleporting level. T. I know you were there. His little. Would you have 4 or 5 different teleporting on your custom level, and we're just like, fuck you.
I actually perfected that level. I made the level bigger and make the teleporters understandable from where they are and shit. Like, I gotta play that again with you guys.
Dude, the amount of custom levels I've seen over the past week have been ridiculous. Someone had like a trans right level, and I was like, guys, can we not do this right now? And they're like, come on, man.
You guys know why the Nintendo Switch Online is so bad, right?
Why?
because people make penises in their Smash levels. That's why.
Oh yeah.
No, Nintendo's been getting rid of a lot of those though.
But I remember certain breakfast beverage guy was basically blaming
I just got that.
It took me a minute.
Nintendo's online and where they're at with their online because people make penis levels in a game that just came out a few months ago.
That's such a
I'm still salty that I haven't seen any of those levels yet.
Well, they have been. I think like if you had got on like the first day and were like pretty consistent, you would have saw a lot of them. But like after that, Nintendo was like, "All right, listen, guys, we gave you a feature. Don't get stupid with this shit." Now we're deleting a bunch of stuff.
I only just got the breakfast reference.
No, see, it took me a minute too. He said it in such a weird way; it threw me off for some reason.
But I mean, that's why it's if you made a penis level, you're the reason Nintendo Switch Online is so bad because that's why. Because penis is bad.
Why did you say
I mean, that's why I like the internet.
He's like,
People always go stupid and everything. Like, I wanted to make this level that I told you guys. Like, I wanted to fight with you guys. I wanted to make like this Bayonetta level, which was bend over, so you could fight on her ass that was bouncing. And I think a day later, I didn't even set anything to anybody. A day later, Juice linked that level with the chick that was exactly the way I wanted to make the Bayonetta one. This chick bend over, you could fight on the ass and everything. It's beautiful, man. That's why the internet is so good.
Yeah, it wasn't offensive. It wasn't like nudity or anything. It's shit.
Not yet. Working.
I'm sure somebody took the time to make a penis going into a vagina, and it got blocked. Probably spent like 5-6 hours making.
It's a good thing that just doesn't monetize the videos because this would have been demonetized a long time ago.
I love that people take the time to do that.
I thought you say I love the penis versus vagina.
No, I just love to think about all the time spent, and that shit gets taken down immediately. It's just like, is it worth it?
And something what kills me is that like it's like overly detailed and shit.
Well,
like,
you still have it. No, I mean,
You still have it for your own.
So
stuff,
it's worth it for your own, I guess. If you,
I'm surprised Robert hasn't made one yet.
Play with your friends, technically.
Hey, look! I'm such a loser. Look at me. I made a penis going into a vagina in my Smash stage.
Yeah, it's like
you guys want to play? Hell
and your
no,
friends
I won't play that
and your
shit.
friends are like, "Yo, I didn't know you knew what a vagina looked like." Who says I do?
And then you got
That's all I see at school is
Bayonetta's
like
music.
kids with their Switches playing Smash.
Yeah,
I see it all the time.
Well,
all the time.
How many? It's
like
what, over
dicks
12
everywhere,
million?
guys.
What's Smash at?
Smash is at
Was it at 12 or 14?
Almost
Oh,
13.
were we talking about sales? Oh.
We might as well get into that.
All right, fuck it.
All right, before
Transition.
before that though,
Damn
a
it.
few of us were
a
on a
bad
podcast,
transition.
and we made our predictions for the fiscal year for the
Okay.
Switch hardware. But for some reason, it was just me, Juice, and Robert.
You yourself.
I was gonna say, I don't remember that.
I mean, me,
Juice, and
T.
Robert.
Sorry, me, T, and Robert. And
Me, myself, and Irene.
so I guess 16 million. Robert said 15 and a half, and T said 14 million. That was, I think it was before the holiday season we made these, because I was like, I was looking at, the lineup.
I remember that now. Yeah.
The lineup of games, and I'm like, they're only doing about $1 million a month right now. Not only, but they're doing $1 million a month. So
where were they at though? I don't remember where they were at before.
It's 20. Was it 20?
No, for the fiscal, I think that was the only thing we knew was halfway through the year. When we made these predictions, I think it was about halfway through. I don't remember what they were at that point. But yeah. So I think what was the end? 16.95 for the fiscal.
Let's see. Oh, just the physical. Let's see. Damn it! Oh, I only
just for the console.
The console was at 34.
Well, no, for that fiscal year,
for
it was
fiscal year.
Oh, for that fiscal year. Hold on a second.
Fiscal.
It was almost
not physical, OJ. It's fiscal.
What's the difference, guys?
There's a huge difference.
Come on, man.
Actually, if you want to break it down,
I don't want to argue semantics. I just want to. I want to get some views. I mean,
fiscal. I'm guessing. I'm gonna guess. I don't know 100%, but fiscal has something to do with finance. I don't know.
Yeah, physical it's physical.
Physical.
Okay,
is like
here we go.
object.
Fiscal, FIS.
Here we go. Sorry about that.
CAL
is
very different than physical.
Do they not give me just a straight
It's
number?
16.95 for the Switch. I don't know where that's what it was reported. I could not find.
You had one job, Terrell.
No, I'm looking at the news article.
He's got
and
the
it
life to date, I'm guessing, for everything.
Yeah, I had the life to date, and they're giving me like percentages, but they're not giving me the actual number.
They're not giving the physical.
Anybody out?
You asshole.
No physicals for you.
Maybe if you had a physical sheet of paper with the numbers written on it.
Or a physical sheet of paper. Which one?
Ironically enough, now I do know where they were at in September, which was at 22.86 million. So
well, yeah, that's lifetime. I mean, still.
No, that was what. Yeah, that's what they were at in September. So that means they were at. That means they've gained. What is that? 12. 12 million or so. So there you go. There is 12 something million.
Good job. You get an F and for your assignment.
You get an F for fiscal.
But hey,
was that the only thing we were going to talk about in terms of?
But
numbers?
Hey, no, we got more to talk about.
Okay, then.
Do you have the numbers? I don't know.
Then I don't have. This is not an F yet.
All we need to know is the Switch has outsold that shit N64 console. That's all we need to know.
Well, see, then my job was done. Well, that part of it was.
Clocked it. I said all we needed to know is the Switch outsold that shitty ass N64.
This dude is so sad that he didn't grab the bait.
Yeah, he was so mad. Dude.
I don't think he's listening.
No, I wasn't listening. I did all the fiscal stuff. I was thinking, what's all I could think was poor Terrell. He's getting battered and bruised here. Looking at some fucking numbers.
The good news is being a black man, I'm used to it.
So again, yeah, at least I mean the Switch is obviously the best, one of the best systems of all time. It's now outsold the N64, so that makes it, God status. Because 32 million, that's something. Yeah, the N64 back in its I don't think it was considered a failure back then. Didn't do as well as I think a lot of people maybe thought. I guess that's the only way that would be relevant to bring up the N64. But that's where I saw every fucking article.
What did I miss? Sorry, I had to.
The headline of every article: Switch outsold the N64's lifetime. Every IGN, it doesn't matter. Everyone, that was their headline.
Remember when they did this during the Wii? Oh wait, they didn't do this.
No, I don't remember.
They didn't go back and say, "Oh, the Wii just passed this, just passed that."
What's the next?
I think the difference is that the Wii. Oh, the next thing is the Super NES
at 60 something.
No, 49.
No, it's 49.
That was 49. Damn.
Yeah. The NES was 60.
NES was 60. Yeah.
It's like 61.91. That's
Nintendo's never really had those huge numbers, I guess.
Well, you got to remember it was a different time.
Every time this shit comes up, the only reason it keeps being brought up is because of all those fucking insecure vaginas, like you would say, who during the Wii U era was all like, no, this and that.
His legacy lives on.
Now they just got to remind themselves that now they're allowed to support the system, even though it's like steps beyond the Wii U still.
Behind.
Now it's okay to support it. So they want to celebrate all those milestones so they can feel better about themselves. It's so weird.
I'm jealous of you.
It's so strange. It's
how many people reported PlayStation 4 outsold the PSP?
They did that for the PlayStation 2, I think. No, not the PlayStation 2.
It hasn't outsold.
It hasn't passed that. No,
was it the PlayStation 1 to be?
150. It ain't close. It ain't gonna touch that.
Oh wait, that was the PlayStation 1. Yeah, that's just over.
Yeah, I thought it was they did it for the PlayStation 1, but I don't remember. It's been a while.
Yeah.
No, it hasn't outsold the PS1. The PS3, it's outsold though.
Yeah. Well, that's not an accomplishment.
Yeah, it is. 80-something million. That's pretty good, bro.
Nah.
So
pretty big.
Nah. Not until you sell every one of your consoles, then it's an accomplishment.
That failure to PS3 that sold 84 million, 83 million consoles.
And Xbox fans act like, oh yeah, we ran away with that generation. Nah, not really, buddy.
Well, I mean,
got third place.
Yeah,
they were third place. I don't count
third place. But the thing is, like, Sony didn't come around until like the end of the generation. So
So here's my question then:
is that tortoise in the hair type of race?
Is that a pro for the PlayStation or a failure for the Xbox in that situation?
I would say a little bit of both.
Neutral. I think it's neutral.
It's a little bit of. I'd say it's a little bit of both.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
I wonder what
Because it
The
shouldn't have
last-
happened. Xbox shouldn't have done that, and Sony shouldn't have been in a situation where it needed to do that. So
Well, Xbox, it was, to me, their issue was they just stopped making like games towards the end of its lifespan. They lost a lot of
they
their
lost
exclusives.
they lost the exclusives. That was
Yeah,
the
they lost a
main
lot of
thing.
their exclusives later on too. Sony said, "Fuck this, we're gonna run away with this bitch now," and they ran away
Mass
with
Effect?
it.
Yeah.
They killed it. But I mean, hell, what was the Last of Us came out that final year of the PlayStation? They didn't give a damn.
But I would say Sony took the biggest monetary hit.
Oh yeah, they
generation.
did. And then they ran away with this generation for a while.
Yeah, they ran away with it.
God.
With no damn games, dude.
And honestly,
Came out the gate.
Yeah, but I'd say the first few
Yeah.
years are pretty weak, and then they
Yeah.
just kind of exploded these last 2 years, maybe.
And I'm just thinking about how the you were talking about the 360 eventually got
Piece
passed
of
by the
shit.
PS3.
Sorry.
I'm like looking at one of the last one of the Call of Duties that wasn't a cross platform was Black Ops 2.
Mhm.
And Call of Duties were always outselling. The PS3 version was getting crushed by that 360. But Black Ops 2 was actually almost complete, was like within a couple 100,000 of each other, and I think the PS3 actually was the lead. And I don't think anyone talked about that. And I mean, so everyone just assumed all the 360 guys switched to PS4, but
That was 2012.
by the end of that generation, the multiplats were already leveled out. So I didn't even realize that. I always thought it was still like 2-1 on 360.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. But looking at these fucking first week sales back then, 5.6 million in a week of fucking Call of Duty.
Christ, that's insane.
So does that mean the Switch is better than the N64 now that it passed it? Or-
I think
what is the point of this?
I mean, it's just I think people are just. I think honestly, these are Nintendo fans running away with it. They're like, shit, we're out here
Well, it's not
killing it.
Nintendo fans. It's IGN. It's fucking.
No, I mean, but it
all these-
also, I think Nintendo fans are also running away with it. I don't think it's just. I mean, the news articles are pushing the propaganda, but like Nintendo fans are running with it.
Well,
They're
let me
like,
tell you a headline that would actually, in this context, Switch outsold the Wii. Now that's a fucking headline that actually has some merit. And hey, now it's Nintendo's biggest selling home console. That would be a worthwhile headline.
That's a
We're building
phenomenal
that.
achievement in terms of numbers. It's when there's no other way about it. When they say the Switch is also the N64, it's in my mind it just is to diminish what had come before. More than anything else, it's just like, there you go, the N64. We all loved it, but let's be honest, it's so like trash. Like it fucking matters. Well, it did
Yeah.
sound like trash in my mind, but like it fucking matters. They just always want to belittle everything.
So it's like
else.
downplaying the console, even though it's
No,
not
no.
really nothing.
It's what I've said before. I've used again the quote from The Last Jedi. What is it? Something about the past.
Let the past die.
Let
kill
the
it if
past
you
die. Kill it if you have to. But it's like, thank you, Robert. You know that was cool. Yeah, it's. They feel like they have to destroy what came before to prop up what they have now. Like it can't, like the Switch can't. They act like the Switch can't stand on its own feet. Like let it be its own success. Why you don't have to destroy everything that came before it?
Well,
to
they
make it look
write off.
good.
They write off the Wii sales as well because in everyone's mind,
yeah.
there's still that stigma of Sony has beaten Nintendo at every single fucking corner, every single fucking corner. And now that the Switch it's not just that the Switch is selling, it's the excitement around the Switch that everyone is jumping on. It's just like, this is such an exciting fucking system, and not only that, it's selling faster than every other fucking system in the world. And then they'll
They act like they didn't care about that during the Wii U. It's so funny. These same people act like there's the quality and blah blah blah. They act like they didn't care. But the minute they got a system that sells, boy, they don't know what to do with themselves. Like they don't know how to handle it. It's so funny to see the psychology of people.
Because I mean, really, they post their numbers. Yeah, it's 34 million. All right, Switch in 2 years it's still continuing its trend. It's outpaced last year, and maybe start speculating or using these numbers to figure out where it could end up by year 5 or something. Maybe could it challenge the Wii? Something like that would be a little more interesting than just Yeah, outsold the N64. You know,
Fastest selling console out there, blowing up everything out there, and we still don't know. We have to wait to know if our game's gonna fit on the damn cartridge. Every new game that comes out, we
Mhm.
gotta wait on
And you
bated
know,
breath. Oh man, what is like,
you know what?
oh, but it's selling though. Look at them
You know
sales
what?
though.
Thanks, because yeah, what I was going to say then. It's because it's not that we hate that the
No,
Switch is selling this much. It's,
of course not.
fucking
We love
awesome.
It's the narrative that's being
But-
pushed with it.
Yeah,
selling well.
we're not going back and saying, fuck it, I sold also the N64. It's fucking system's amazing.
It's
It's
just
like,
so stupid.
it's just a fucking stupid premise. And the fact that you got these gaming, massive gaming websites, pushing this type of thought process is, it's just the way they do it. It's the way they do it. And it's just like every single thing has to be. It's just with the Switch. It's just every single thing has to be like this. There we go. It just proves that Nintendo done everything right this time. That's why it's selling this much. It's like, oh fuck off! Don't get on my
Well,
face.
to me, it's just like the basis for that quote: "Destroying the past, kill it if you must." It's just a product of a bunch of people who are not very creative, when it comes to journalism or whatever the case may be. They're just not very creative. So this is what they have to do. This is all they know. They have to do this to get people to get excited. And that's pretty fucking sad. It's just really sad.
so let's get into the software because Mario
Let's have
Kart 8
we're gonna have
Deluxe
some-
is like. Go
Let's
ahead.
say we're gonna have some fun with this because I know. I'm assuming you already know Mario Kart 8 is the one that sold the most, right? That's not really.
I forget the number, but I know it was. I remember it being like.
Which makes me happy and sad.
Let's talk about some updated numbers for some pre-existing titles and see how you guys feel about it. So, this list apparently doesn't include games that even though they've sold over 1 million currently, they haven't sold over 1 million within the physical year. So games fiscal year, guys.
Nuclear.
All right, is this gonna be your Mononoke? Is that what this is gonna turn into? It's gonna be his Mononoke.
Hey.
Fuck him. All right, that's the point. It's not gonna include games like Xenoblade 2 and ARMS because even though those both have sold over 1 million, they didn't do it within that year, fiscal year.
You think they'd give us still a lifetime?
There you go.
Hey, listen, I don't use the word that often, T. It's a work in progress. So let's start from the bottom. What do you think is the lowest selling new million seller? Nintendo.
Yoshi. Is that already on the list?
Yoshi's not on there, I don't think. I don't remember seeing it.
Did that come out?
Just make a guess. Is all we're gonna do.
Okay.
Mortal
Alright, well,
Kombat. I don't know.
I'm gonna say the newest, right?
Yeah, these are all new. They're all new.
Oh wait, yeah, New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe. It has to be that.
Okay. The
You
lowest
think
one
that's
is
the
actually
lowest?
the lowest one is actually the Nintendo Labo Variety Kit.
I was about to say lab.
Of
Dang
what?
it.
What?
Apparently, it's at 1.09 million units.
Wait, which one though? Oh, like there's
The
Variety
Variety
Kit,
Kit.
the
It's like
original
the,
version.
it's,
The
it's like the
Okay.
yeah, it's like the second one. Now, the second highest game, I'll go ahead and tell you because some of you already guessed it, is Yoshi. Yoshi's at 1.11 million.
Wow, yo, that's
The
Pretty good.
next
It
the
won't do much
next
more than
one
that.
I would let you guess, but you're not gonna get it because it's kind of a weird inclusion. It's Octopath Traveler at 1.17 million units. But for some reason this number is excluding Japan.
I could have guessed that.
Also, I don't know why this is on the list because it's the only non-Nintendo.
Non-Nintendo. Because Nintendo published it outside of Japan. That's why it's excluding Japan.
Oh, okay, I see.
In Japan, Square, what do they call it now? Square Enix published it in Japan. That's why they didn't count those numbers. They're counting the publishing from Nintendo, which is outside of Japan.
Well, we'll guess the next. What's the next one? Octopath was at 1.17. So what's the next
Mario
game?
Tennis.
Anyone else? Want to
I
take
was
a
gonna
shot?
say, what's that stupid ass garbage ass part?
Donkey Kong.
Okay,
I'm gonna
Donkey
say
Kong, Mario
Kirby.
Tennis, Kirby, T.
I was trying to say 1-2 switch shit.
Is that already over 1 million?
1-2
Did we already
shit.
know that?
Never mind.
No.
I see what
You're.
saying
I
now.
mean, it's fine guessing that.
all
That's what I'm
right,
saying.
go ahead. I didn't understand the premise. Now I get it. So
It's fine. You're all wrong. It's Captain Toad.
Captain
Damn.
Toad.
Captain Toad's at 1.18 million.
Damn.
That shit
about right. I
so
mean-
didn't matter.
So
Nobody
what's-
even thought of it.
So here's the question: what's the next game?
It smashed the Wii U sales. Oh.
We've
What's the
already
next-
it's already been said. I'm guessing Kirby, Mario Tennis, one of those two.
I don't know why they put them out of
think-
order, but it's Donkey Kong.
I was gonna
It's,
say Kirby barely moved. I don't think Kirby was on this list.
Donkey Kong is 2.25 million, and
Mhm.
then the one after that is Kirby, which is at 2.56
What?
million.
What?
Kirby outsold Tropical Freeze. See, that's why the world's fucked up.
And
What's
since
the
you've
new
already,
game?
Kirby's a new
The
game,
second,
though.
the
And
second
here's the
version of
kicker.
Tropical Freeze.
here's the kicker: Mario Tennis Aces is above that at 2.64 million, and
I
guess
can
what's
understand
above that?
New Super Mario
Is that-
Brothers.
no, it's what I just said. 1-2 shit.
Yeah, it's 1-2 Switch at 2.97 million
Yeah, I
units.
remember that.
But Juice, you've guessed the next game, New Super Mario Brothers U
At
Deluxe.
3.3, right?
Yeah, 3.31 million.
I remember that. I
Now I'm
remember
going to tell you right now, there's a significant jump from
3
New Super
million.
Mario Brothers U to the next game.
Splatoon 2.
Splatoon, yeah. I was gonna say that too.
Anyone else? Just make sure before I.
I guess.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Splatoon.
Yeah,
What
fuck
else
it.
is there? There's this.
Well, guess
fucking-
what? You're wrong.
wrong.
It's Super,
We're
it's Super
wrong,
Mario
wrong.
Party.
Oh,
Oh,
Mario
fuck.
Party is 6,
Man,
right?
It's
6.4.
6.4.
Jesus
Milk
Christ.
for Super Mario Party?
Damn.
God
And-
dang.
Good news is Splatoon 2 is right after that at 8.7.
Yeah,
That just
7.
tells me Nintendo's gonna be like, oh, we don't have to put any more effort
That's what
into
scares me,
know,
man.
into these Mario parties.
Why'd you need?
No, Mario Party was pretty good.
Mario Party was good. The Mario Party just didn't have enough. Ironically enough, it's the only game they didn't do the whole extra DLC after
Which
the
doesn't make
game.
any
Well,
sense.
exactly. That's not.
And that's what hurts the game because the
Yo,
game.
wait. Didn't new Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe come out in February?
January.
January, and sold 3.3 million copies.
No.
It's so it's been selling like 1 million copies a month. It seems like.
That's
Oh.
crazy.
And then well, the 5 that are left you already know. It's Pokemon at number 5 with 10.63, Zelda at 12 million, Smash at 13.8, Mario Odyssey at 14.44, and Mario Kart 8 Deluxe at 16.69.
You know what bothers me most about all this shit is like the next Nintendo meeting. They're not gonna be okay. Does anybody have a cool idea for a new game we can develop? No, they're gonna be like, hey, what else did the Wii U have that we didn't port yet?
Well, they don't even need to do
Yeah.
that because when you think about it, actually, now that I think about it, because if you look even at the top 5, there's only Mario Kart 8 is the best-selling game, and it was like the first real like port. It was the first port, and it's become the best-selling game on the console.
You know what the Switch bitches will say? Oh, see, that's why these Nintendo brought these games overseas. 'Cause like shit, we know, we understand.
We know why they
Like,
did it.
It's like, that's
It's
like
like,
we
shut
don't
the
know
fuck
why
up.
they did it, bitch. We know why they did it. But the point is, wouldn't you rather have a damn sequel? Wouldn't that be more exciting?
I guarantee you, Mario Kart 9 would.
You don't think the sequel would sell as much as these
You know
are
what-
selling? Of
You know what
course.
kills? You know what kills me? The biggest shock on here to me is probably New Super Mario Brothers U.
That's
that-
kind of shocking.
It's so because you think about it, like it came out in January.
That was
and
a packing title, and it did 5 million on the Wii U, and so I mean, most people about the deluxe got the game.
That was a
See,
pack-in
I
title?
just would have thought maybe a mil.
No,
at
it was.
most.
Maybe
But-
no, that
No,
wasn't.
it wasn't.
No, it wasn't.
Nintendo
We-
Land. Sorry.
Nintendo Land was the package.
Yeah,
Nintendo
you're
Land
right,
was a
you're right.
pack-in.
I think they did come out with a bundle for it
They
later.
did later on.
Yeah.
But that's still insane for it to sell that
Yeah.
much
A
in
million per month, man. That is just
in 3 months.
disgusting.
And I guess to also bring up, just because it's a side note, Nintendo has won MPD consistently for the last 4 months. Like they won 3 months because it went to the end of March. So they won January, February, and March.
So this is what I would ask the Switch bitches, because that'll be their excuse. Oh, look how they sold. Do you not think that a sequel to these games would have sold the same or better?
Yeah, imagine if
what do you
Mario.
Of course they would.
If
Yeah,
Mario
of course
Kart 9
it would.
was coming out this May, it would probably by next May it would be probably well over 17 million.
So would you rather just keep stagnating the Switch, or would you rather have new games?
Well,
for
I
the
mean,
Switch
even
that
the
still
other,
will sell as well?
even the games under Mario Kart 8, like Mario Odyssey and Breath of the Wild, are still like high tier sellers.
They
So
are,
I still think the point is still getting across that new games are worth the investment. And I don't think, and considering that we're kind of set after we get to like June, we're set for like the next 3 months of games, yo. Like, have you thought about that shit? Like, you got Go ahead.
I
Retro.
was just gonna say, because of what T said, the thing I hate is the argument people throw at this. It's like, yeah, we got Mario Kart 8, but of course you're gonna get Mario Kart 9. Yeah, of course you're gonna get Mario Kart 9, but not next month. Now you can wait like 2 years or some shit before you get that. Because like, even if they're making it, even if it's done, they had a game that was done a while ago. Of course they're not gonna release it a month after Mario Kart 8. Like fucking New Super Mario Brothers U is selling like a goddamn million a month. You think we're gonna get a new 2D Mario like in the next 3 months? Like, I
Well, I
don't
mean,
think so.
technically
But it
you
don't
are.
matter, man. Just
I mean,
rewind it.
technically you
Shut
are
the fuck
Retro.
up.
To be fair,
I,
Just rewind. Shut up.
because
What's the
technically
problem?
you're getting Mario Maker 2 in like 2 months. So
you want to hear something sad? There's a
Besides what we just said.
yeah. A
you want to hear
sad
something
thought.
else that's sad?
For anybody who maybe even thinking of defending this, what if New Super Mario Brothers U is the only true 2D, like other than Mario Maker where you make your own levels, the only Nintendo made Mario game on the Switch, like one of their best selling systems of all time? It probably won't be the case, but they could ride this sucker
I
out.
don't know that. I don't know if that's true.
This
It
thing
could
could
be
sell
the
20
case.
million.
You say that
It wouldn't matter because they would come up with the same excuse. They come up with the excuse that they had with Mario Maker 1. Oh, it's all right. We don't need a new 2D Mario because
We'll
Yeah,
make
but
our
I'm
own.
about to say this argument got brought up during Mario Maker 1 when that came out. People were like,
But at
"Oh,
least
would
when
you?"
Mario Maker 1, New Super Mario Bros. U was a new game.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so at least there was a new 2D Mario on the Wii U.
The only
And arguably, it is the best one.
if Nintendo,
Yeah, it's
we
easily
don't
the best new one.
we
for
don't
sure.
have any too much like real info, but the best case scenario, like the win-win for everybody, is if Nintendo took the Mario Maker 2 and made a true single player experience with like 7 worlds, just using the Mario Maker tools, and made some of the most creative, like cool levels wrapped into your typical world style.
They did that with the 3DS version.
It's gonna be
didn't they?
way better than that trollish shit that people make.
Yeah, if they did that,
I was
and
like,
gave,
because didn't the 3DS version come with a bunch of pre-made levels?
well, I'm
from
not talking about
Nintendo?
just pre-made level. I'm talking about
a game like a world.
using
a
the
game.
tool, but actually
Oh.
make an actual 2D Mario game world structure single player experience that is on par or better than the new Super Mario Brothers the new Super Mario Brothers series, and then plus the game was also make your own levels. I think that would have been a way to solve that problem and appease fans.
Or
So it's
after
like Mario Maker
comes out-
2 plus in a way.
Right. Well, not really. After Mario Maker comes out, let's say it comes out and it's out for a while, and Nintendo says, "Hey, here's some DLC, an entire world. We'll call it, I don't know, Mario Maker Land or something. And here's a whole world you can go beat as a contained world."
Mm-hmm.
I'd shut my damn mouth right now. I would be totally fine with that.
Yeah,
If they did that, but I don't think they will.
Because I mean, I love everything I'm seeing. They got the new advertisement that leaked, not really leaked, but we got some new info based on that. I'm like, man,
Poster and stuff.
they're putting like almost everything in this game, and I love that. It's also it's daunting and exciting at the same time. But if just take the guys that make these really good level designers at Nintendo and just take those tools and just make a single player experience completely separate from the creating, and just you play that, and it's just like you have a single player 7 worlds of great levels to play. I think that would be a good way to kind of bridge the gap and get more
That would be great.
people to buy it that maybe don't even think they want to make levels, but hey, I want to play a new 2D Mario game, and just they can maybe be a little more creative with it because of all the crazy combinations of things they could do. Taking elements from 3D World and put it in the original NES style Mario. I would rather see the creative minds at Nintendo take those tools and make a single player experience. Then it's going to take a while to find the good level creators, and then maybe follow some people and hey, this guy is consistent making good levels.
Game Explain, actually, those dudes Andre makes pretty cool levels.
He makes some cool themed ones, but the playing them, they don't really play that exciting. But
You kind of have to understand level design to kind of do good ones, and I think over time there's been a bunch of people who've kind of gotten close to it.
Yeah.
Oh, I've seen. I mean, honestly, I've watched like Dashy or this other guy. I don't even know his name. He does his whole channel is playing Mario Maker levels still to this day.
Yeah, people made it a career.
And yet he has no reaction or no videos talking about Mario Maker 2, but he still plays these levels. And these people have come up with, I would say, if I was Nintendo, I would hire some of these people based on their levels, like almost using the tools in a more creative way than I think even Nintendo intended when they put the tools in the game, the first game. Like people found a way to like even take it to a level you wouldn't even expect. Like
That's the kind of stuff I like to see when people.
yeah, they can put you can take a bullet bill thing, like the shooter, whatever you want to call it. I don't know what you'd call the thing the bullet bill comes out of,
The cannon.
The cannon, yeah, you stretch the base to be like the full height of the screen, and then you put it on like a rail system that goes up and down, and then you have to like run. If it comes down on you, it crushes you. So now you're like, these things are going up and down, and you got to kind of fill, and it's like it doesn't affect any of the environment. So this thing can go up, all the way down. It doesn't matter what platforms you have, and then put all these platforms, and you got to run as these things are closing behind you. You had to it was like a forced running level, but using those things closing behind you, it was just so freaking clever.
Can I just say right now, just quickly, I am never, ever, ever, and I think everyone should join in on this as well. Never play any of Retro's Mario levels.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Based on
Funny
his,
thing
Smash
is,
level.
like my Mario Maker levels
It
are
seems like out of spite for some
like
reason.
people make a lot of like those trolley levels. My Mario Maker levels, they're always like adventures. I like making levels that don't constrict you in time, that are not super trolley, where you're like walking around, like exploring kind of
That
stuff.
sounds good.
Because like here's the thing, Ju said he watches like Dashi. Like I watch Ryukar. He's like with Dashi. There's like a handful of people that are like on top of the Mario Maker community. I like Ryukar because he's kind of really chill always and shit. And here's why I don't like the idea what you and T said about Nintendo just making like a single player mode in the game. Because what I like about Mario Maker is that by now people have come up with such crazy shit like what you just described in Mario Maker, such insane stuff that you can do that Nintendo could never even think of. People that like go so far out of the box. I want just Mario Maker to be what it is, because I like when you just play random levels, because it's part of Mario Maker. When sometimes you get something really cool, sometimes you get something really hard, sometimes you get like the biggest fucking garbage where people just toss like a gazillion Goombas and flying and shit to chaos. That's Mario Maker to me.
Well,
I don't want
still going to be
Nintendo
there
to
though.
put-
Well, that's
I
like
don't want.
90%
I don't need
of
no,
Mario
but
Maker.
here's the
That's
thing,
problem.
because this is what I said about Mario Maker 1, and I still feel the same. I want Nintendo, the next 2D Mario, to be something you can't do in Mario Maker. I want it to have like an art style we've never seen before, something unique, something completely new,
Yeah, I
something
would prefer
that
that,
you
actually.
wouldn't be
That-
able
that sounds
to
good, but-
recreate in Mario Maker.
I mean, to
Well,
me,
yeah.
that's. I mean, to
Like
be
New Super
fair.
Mario Brothers U just sold 3 million copies, so that shit ain't happening. So
I mean, I'm
No,
just
but-
saying to be fair, because I mean that's what Super Mario Brothers. That's what the new Super Mario Brothers series was. It was reinventing the
Not really.
Mario's, the 2D Mario series to a degree.
With a trash.
Yeah, but there's like a lot of
art
things that
style.
makes Mario Maker, like, even the new styles, it's like it fits on a grid system. That's the idea. So I feel like Nintendo needs to themselves. I want them to make their own shit, because they're
Oh, yeah,
creative as fuck. But I
I'm
want
not
them to make
saying-
something that you can't do in Mario Maker. Because that's the thing. Mario Maker to me is like, they create. That's what I like. They created these worlds. You have you just like your difficulty, how many levels, and it creates a story kind of for you. That's all this. Mario's always been just like, you pick specific levels and you get to the end. And I feel at this point, the creators are simply way better at creating levels than Nintendo is in Mario Maker.
Well, I'm not saying. I'm saying since the game's coming out,
Yeah, we're
I'm
not saying
saying
either
don't-
or.
I'm not saying don't make a new like
Right.
completely mind-blowing 2D Mario game, but since this game is coming out, there's plenty of people like I don't want to make no levels. I don't want to play troll levels. They could just use the tools and be way quicker than coming up with something brand new that by the time the game comes out, or like T says, have it be additional content. I'm
But
not
that's why
saying
you have the difficulty level.
you still
though.
have Mario Maker in its 100% the way it was, but then also you have a separate. I'm not saying they're going to, but if it was me, they got the game. It's already coming out, so why not?
In terms of
Um,
content, then it almost becomes like the Super Smash Brothers of Mario games, doesn't it? You know, where you do have like a chunky single player game and then loads of extras on top. And
mhm.
I'm not sure how I feel about that. I know why you're saying it, and right now it sounds like the best option
Well,
because
oh, sorry.
yeah, no,
No, I
go on,
was
T.
just gonna say they already have that 100 level thing.
That
They
was on the
did.
original one, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So why not just make that a damn a world? Make make you know what I'm saying?
Put
Like
in a
make a
better
world that you go
structure.
through, better
Oh, yeah,
structured. Yeah.
we might have. We don't know. We haven't seen everything that the game has to offer yet.
The one thing how I would like this, and I don't know if Juice meant that when he said it and the way he did, but if Nintendo would do a single player campaign within Mario Maker, I would want them to do it in a way that they would make levels we can't make. And I think that's kind of what you said. Like, let's say you have like a Mario Brothers 1, like 8-bit shit, and then you put like 3D world enemies walking in there, but
Well,
not in
they,
8-bit, but actual 3D, like actually mishmashing all the styles together to create one game. Like what we couldn't make out of it. Like
I
that's
wasn't
something I
saying
would stand behind.
the only.
The problem with that is that it then creates when you have that kind of gameplay in a creative level game, and you realize you can't do that in game. It
Yeah,
just
I'm not
makes you.
saying make it do something. The only way it would be something we couldn't do is it would just be expertly crafted levels. I wasn't saying do stuff that's not allowed because they already showed in Game Explain there's like possibly stuff from 3D World seen in the 2D in the NES Mario game. Like it's already been in the poster. So some of
No,
that,
no,
some
no, no, no,
people,
no. No, that's not what I mean. Yeah, you have, yeah, but then they put it in an 8-bit thing, it adapts it to the game. But what I mean is that let's say you put a pipe in the original game, that it stays a 3D world, 3D pipe, like not pixelated, like
I don't
actually
know.
combining the
That's like
styles.
more like that's like
That's
art direction clash to me. That's like
yeah,
mixing.
that's a weird. I wasn't saying that for sure.
It's like,
So,
but
but yeah, I mean, I still want them to go back to the drawing board and like show the Ori and the Blind Forest type, the Rayman Legends, all the people that say, oh, they're doing platforming better than Nintendo, and come out with something groundbreaking in that regard. Yeah, I've wanted that for a long time, but since this game's coming out, and as like, why not? That way, there's definitely people that like I don't care about playing user created levels, but they might pick it up if Nintendo's like, yeah, we have a full, basically it's Super Mario World 2 or that style Mario game is aside right beside the creating thing, and maybe make the level creating somehow mix it as justify it by some story element or something. I don't know. It's just something they could do. They probably won't. It's just gonna be like I wouldn't be surprised if it's very similar to here's 100 levels that we made, and then we gave other developers, other teams, like the Mario Kart team made a level, and the Zelda team made a level type of stuff. That's probably what we're gonna get. But either
so
way,
I also did want to casually mention they did reconfirm if they're kind of like 2019 lineup, which is still Mario Maker 2. I'm talking about first party, mind
and
you.
we got the release date since the last podcast.
Oh
June
yeah.
28th.
Oh, did we? I didn't realize. I feel like I've known that for a while now for some reason. Yeah.
No,
So we got June 28th for Mario Maker 2, July 26th for Fire Emblem, and then August 30th for Astral Chain. And they still confirm Pokemon, Luigi's Mansion 3, Animal Crossing, and Zelda all for 2019.
the thing about
The only
I
thing
would-
that's different now is that they changed Pokemon to like winter.
it says winter, which winter goes until March of the next year. So
Nah, that'll be November. That'll be November 21st or whatever.
I think I don't know why they
That's
would have put
really
winter.
specific, but I don't disagree, ironically enough.
But that to me, I think Pokemon's gonna be the
December.
last one because they said late in the Pokemon thing.
But the
It'll be
question
December
then,
something.
but the
something or
question
other.
now is that we have our June, July, and August game. So now we got what? September, October, November, December. Is
And we
that
made
is
all
that is that a heavy hitter every month?
It sounds like
It
it.
could
it
be.
better be.
It depends on your perspective, because to me, Pokemon and Animal Crossing aren't heavy hitters, but I get what you mean.
You fucking
Wait, what?
He means for himself.
You
Yeah,
mean
for
Okay,
me,
for him,
those
yeah, I
are
get it.
those are
Okay, I
easy
thought we
passes.
were just being objective here.
No,
The only game I would have said that isn't a heavy hitter is Luigi's Mansion 3.
Yeah.
Fuck
Nah,
you.
that's-
Fuck
I
I mean,
you.
I'm not
that's a heavy
that-
hitter to me than I am.
I'm not saying it's not a heavy hitter in terms of like sales. Like it's not gonna be one of those ones that.
If you're talking
I don't
sales,
know,
for sure.
I predict that shit's gonna do 10 mil.
Listen,
What?
if new Super Mario Bros. U sells 3 fucking million, I want and expect Luigi's Mansion 3 to do much better.
I think the most I would see out of Luigi's Mansion 3, if it's a good game, is 5. is
I
what
say
would
5.
get.
Yeah, that's a good spot for
Five
it.
would be
That's
my
a good
guess.
amount. Look at the
Oh no,
numbers we're
no!
talking here.
I'm not denying it's a good amount. I'm just saying that's
I
That-
regard
Oh, that's
huge-
great.
we're now in a dangerous situation though, because it's essentially starting at the end of June. It's pretty consistent with games for the rest of this year if it does line up the way we're thinking, where we get like a major release every month.
And that would be perfect, yo. That would be fucking awesome. And,
Hey man, listen, some of
second
us have bills, you know. I'm just saying,
well, me too.
like responsibility.
Well, you got to make choices, bro.
Hey man, you can't ask me to do that. You put fucking listen, and then on top of that, we also got like some of the smaller game announcements. Like I think Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 comes out like
That's right.
the week before Fire Emblem, which bothers the fuck out
Juice
of
is
me.
very excited about that.
I know he doesn't give a shit. He can give a fuck less.
Didn't make that list. They next mock.
I don't know, man. That Marvel game is gonna sell
Oh,
pretty
damn it, X
fucking
Machina.
good.
That's right.
Oh
What,
yeah, Damon and Machina
Didn't get reconfirmed for
it
2019.
didn't get reconfirmed. But the worst I can see that game slipping to is maybe September.
I can see it December.
I can see
And
it.
didn't they-
It will die in December. I will
Didn't
say
he
that.
also
It better
say-
not pass September, that's for sure.
Because Robert said he did. Do you guys even think the Marvel game is gonna sell?
Yeah, I think the Marvel game
Yeah,
is
I
gonna
think
sell.
so.
I think it's gonna sell really good.
Probably has a million pre-orders now.
It'll
after this
probably
week.
be the best. It'll probably be the best fucking one. Consider, I don't know if anyone's played the other two. I've seen footage of the other two,
I have one on Wii.
and I've heard that the biggest issues with the other two is that since they put them on every fucking console, the older games have a lot of bug and glitches in
Yeah,
them, but they do have a cult following. So I think it'll sell fine.
Yeah, I think it'd
Personally.
be good.
It'll definitely be a million seller. I just
Definitely,
don't know.
because
That's all.
especially
That's probably all they
we're in
want.
the Marvel like age right now, so it's like it's totally
Too
gonna
bad
sell.
it didn't come out like right now. Then it
Yeah,
would've
really-
Yeah, I think it would have did better in
It
May.
totally should have came out.
I wonder if that's just development or whatever. I mean,
Yeah.
that game kind of came out of nowhere. That game was announced at the end of last year and will be out.
They missed that window. That's a good
It
window.
could be that
to-
they
yeah.
tried to get the window, but they just wanted to work on it more, or that it got delayed. to,
Yeah, because
like,
Koei
fine-tune it.
Tecmo's working on that game.
Yeah.
I guess also
No,
we could. Oh no, Team Ninja. You're right.
Team Ninja.
I'm sorry. I'm thinking of the new Persona game for Switch. Is what I'm thinking of. Fucking stupid bastards. I swear to God, yo. I'm
So
sorry.
I like
Just-
my Muso.
the
Well,
Switch
talk
did
about-
Switch did almost 17 million in a fiscal year that, other than Smash,
It's kind of weak.
had some pretty the opposite of heavy hitters.
Pokemon.
So what do you think? Well, let's go, I guess. But what do you?
He wants to discredit the shit out of Pokemon. I love it.
10 million. How you like that, Terrell?
Yeah.
It wasn't a good. It's still not a good fucking game. It's
So what do you
fine.
guys-
It's fine for the casual. That's all I'm
I
gonna
didn't say all that. I just said hit that 10.
Hey, listen, fuck you. See, my emotions are in one way or another right now. All right.
You have to stick to that Terrell to get.
I hope new Super Mario Brothers U Deluxe sells another 6 billion copies.
Fuck you, man.
That's some cold shit.
See, we all got that button. All right. That's all.
That's unnecessary.
And you know what's gonna sell a ton? Also, honestly, is Zelda because of Breath of the Wild.
Well, that's not even an argument.
no, but
don't
I
even-
think that shit's gonna sell 10.
Which one? You mean
Link's Awakening.
Link's
I think-
Link's Awakening is gonna is gonna make money purely off of the fact that it's a remake, let alone.
Yeah, you're gonna have all these fraudulent ass websites
Oh,
running around acting like, oh, this is my favorite Zelda. Mom, shut the fuck up. Shut up with that bullshit.
Yeah, I used to play this game in the past when I was younger.
Seriously.
We saw all those reactions.
You know what
Did you-
kills me? Because you'll have the people be like, "Man, I love this on the Super Nintendo," and you're like, "What?
What?
No.
What are you talking about?"
Fail.
Most of them didn't even get it when they saw the windfish egg on the fucking mountain, and it
I know.
wasn't until you saw gameplay. I was like, "Oh, fuck off!"
I mean, you
Some
even
people
had
still
like,
didn't get
What
like
is this,
serial
Wind Waker? Get the fuck out.
But
You
it's
had like a serial
What
guy or
is
whatever
it?
Juice called him and shit when the reveal, when the reaction. Because I think I watched like a ton of reactions. I normally don't do that, but I wanted to see it and shit. And like a serial guy, he was like watching this. Oh, Link's Awakening. Oh wow, like it was a brand new game. It's like, bitch, come on, you can't be that dumb.
Killing me. I'm
I
dead.
feel like Retro's kind of was like, "You stupid fuck."
Stupid assholes.
He's over there sipping his goddamn tea.
There's
and
only
shit.
so much bullshit I can take in one day.
I know it's too early in the goddamn week for this shit. Give me a fucking break first, Jesus Christ.
Oh yeah, like
Bitches didn't even
like
have a
Ha-
Game Boy back
That
then.
was another thing as well. Like when Hands of Soul said, when I was watching people's reactions, they're like, "What the fuck is this? Why are there Goombas in there and all this shit?" It's like, listen, if you haven't played this fucking game, just shut the fuck up. It's
Yeah,
fine.
see,
If you
I
haven't played it, that's fine. But just don't pretend. Like
What,
you fucking
Goombas?
yeah. It's just
I saw that so many
The
times, I
only
was just
thing,
dying.
the only thing that confused me, because I haven't played the game, but I had seen footage of it, was the fact that I was confused that he was jumping. That was the only thing that confused me, because I'm like, well, I know that's a new feature. So what the fuck did Link start jumping in the handheld games? And then that's when y'all explained to me it was like an item.
it's
you
just
would
an
equip.
item. Yeah, the
Yeah.
rock feather. Yeah.
But that's
But there's
like,
a difference between like not understanding it and claiming you know everything.
Yeah,
and
after you already
claiming
lied in your
it's like,
reaction.
no, come on. It's like, how hard is it to just say, hey, I didn't know that, and learn something instead of being like a fucking douche about shit.
Yeah, douchebags.
because I don't get
Game show?
I don't get Nintendo cred if I tell the truth.
I need that's seriously what
Right.
people are
You
thinking.
have to have liked and played every damn game ever that came out and shit. And
Yeah, I know.
if not, you have to fraud your way through.
I want my Star Tropics remake. Hey, no, fuck the fuck out of my face.
And don't forget Mock Rider.
Yeah, fuck it.
Such bullshit.
Fucking Rad Racer. I did play Rad Racer, but still, no one fucking
I
wants
played
that
all those
Racer to
games,
come back.
but nobody
one
want
that
no
shit to
new
come
one.
back.
Get out of here with that shit.
You fucking savages. How dare you? Christ. Do we want to play the game of if we're gonna guess how much the Switch is gonna sell by what is September the next one? I guess
Is it September?
the next
what?
quarter. I think.
Probably.
It would be probably September.
I think,
June, July.
It'll go up to July, but we probably won't.
So
see
it'll
it.
be August.
August.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's dangerous because all the good games.
Yeah, I
will
know,
be-
right? Like,
The only game that probably won't be out is if it's the end of August, Astral Chain will have just come out. If
it'll
it's
probably
the-
be early.
Well, that
August,
won't
probably
be on their
mid-August.
numbers because the numbers will end on June 30th. That'll
Yeah.
be what the numbers are up
so
to.
the only game that'll be on there is Mario Maker 2.
You
At
think
least,
it'll even chart it? I mean, that'd be.
Oh, you please, Mario.
Well,
Maker
There's a
2?
lot of people who bought a Wii U for Mario Maker, and especially since all these Mario Maker streamers have gotten so big, a lot of people you see they are still now sometimes buying Wii U's for Mario Maker. So I think Mario Maker 2, it will move not a lot, but it will move some units for sure.
How
Even
much would you
pushes.
bet? How much would you
It's
bet
gonna
by the end
outsell
of
New
June?
Super Mario Brothers U, and
In the first, how many?
well,
like,
that's only gonna have 2 days of actual tracking though.
I think it'll sell 3 million
in
that-
2 days?
Yeah,
Well, here's
I'm
what
willing.
they do.
I would bet that. I would bet money on that.
Here's what they do.
$3.
Their quarter ones aren't as detailed as their year end. So March was the actual full year numbers. The next quarter they'll do something. It won't be they'll give us updates and stuff. They might say, hey, here's what Super Mario Maker 2 sold in its first 2 days, and let's say the report's at the end of August, or let's see, could be like middle third week of August. They could be like, well, here's also the lifetime up-to-date numbers for Mario Maker 2. Sometimes they do that as well, even though the game will only technically be in 2 days of that quarter. They might also give its current lifetime numbers. If they're high enough, I think they will boast about that. So we could find out then. But other than that, I was more thinking of the whole year. Like last year, with just a few hitters compared to this year, with some of their biggest selling titles from like especially handheld, their handheld systems and Animal Crossing and a full-fledged Pokemon with a Zelda, with a Mario Maker, with Fire Emblem. I think it's easy to say that the Switch in the next fiscal will probably do that 20 they wanted this last one to do, if not more. And then they got China potentially.
Yeah, they're
release in China could be happening in this fiscal year, so we could be. I mean,
I don't know. That was confirmed. They're working with I forget the name of the company.
The Tangent or some shit like that.
Tenac. Oh, let me see.
I mean, they could hit.
That could be
With China. They could be talking 30, 40 million in a fiscal year.
Let me just make sure I get the name right.
It wasn't part of their forecast, China. So.
It wasn't.
No.
Let me make sure.
Right. But
you got to go into China with the plan, man.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's because they're such a pain in the ass to get into in the first place.
Oh, they've been preparing for China and shit already. They've been adding like Chinese and like simplified. And all that.
I think they even.
But I'm saying like Sony and Microsoft just said, "All right, here's the same console. We sell everybody else."
Exactly. I think Nintendo has a plan and they're slowly working it. And I'm pretty sure they're working on marketing now.
They'll have some games more catered and have like they have that one. Was it a real-time strategy? What was that one huge game in China?
Oh, Tencent. That's what it's called. Oh,
like a huge mobile game in China that was called
the MOBA game. I can't remember the name of it. Yeah.
You talking about Dragalia Lost?
I'm not sure.
No, it's a MOBA game. It's a MOBA.
Oh, MOBA.
And it's a huge hit in China. And they announced it for
China.
Switch recently or last year at some point. I can't remember. So, not to just linger on numbers too long, guess what? Retro Studios is hiring, specifically the Metroid Prime team.
Oh my god, we're gonna do this.
I thought Retro Studios
are you really
closing.
I'm surprised you're even.
I thought they was closing last week. They were closing.
But they're looking for a few world-class developers to join the Metroid Prime team. I think to me, it sucks that Nintendo's first team couldn't make this happen because this to me is like, they don't feel they have the people necessary to make this game. So
they just
it's
need
a little
to hire
concerning.
more people. It's going to be a big ass project. It best be a big ass project.
Yeah, but people speculated they had enough people over the years of hiring to have 2 full teams. So
it's what they might have 2 full teams.
Maybe this makes it so they'll have basically their own Metroid team, and then they can. But it's just kind of like tells me like. I think a lot of people are saying the same thing, and I knew this. And I think we all knew this. We seem to be more logical than some people. Like I feel like in retro said, like this game was started over. They said that. I don't know why that's surprising to people because of this posting. Like, oh, that's way early in development. No shit. They said they scrapped and started over.
No, man, it's coming out 2020.
What, the end of last year?
Fuck that dude, man.
The shit was scrapped. I'm guessing they're not going to use anything. They're starting from absolute scratch. Is what.
Well, that makes sense.
You know why? I wouldn't expect because that. I think they were trying to go with Unreal Engine 4 for it, but I don't think Unreal Engine 4 was giving them 60 frames a second. I think they want 60 frames. No, so they're going to have to make their own
look
engine
at what,
for it.
It's like people they thought that the game was already almost done. I never really thought that, and now they're like, okay, Nintendo were like, we don't like where this is going. We want something else. So they have a new team. They started over. This new team is now, okay, this is what we want to do. Now they're like, okay, who do we need to do this? That's why this game is nowhere near done and shit. No. You'll be lucky if in 2 years you're going to see it at fucking E3 in a trailer. This game is not fucking coming out next year. Trey.
It's nowhere near coming out.
There's definitely not. They might have some wire mesh. Like Retro thought the previous team had. We're at, wire mesh 3D model stage. That's where they're probably at. They're probably still doing concept art and shit.
I was gonna say concept. Do they even have this? I guess they have the Glame, the game plotted out to some degree. I think
Yeah,
they,
they
that
must
kind
do.
of stuff.
They can't. They're not. They haven't gone that far from scratch. They would have had
Yeah.
concept art.
But-
They would have had ideas. It's just whatever went wrong. Like we said, was probably with the engine, with the team,
Yeah.
with the direction and stuff. They're just like, no, fuck this. It's not working.
But here's
Not
the
fucking
thing.
working.
I don't think anybody's really said this, but doesn't this prove that Retro was working on a game or more?
I think it
Well,
does. It doesn't mean that.
Because if they weren't working on anything, wouldn't they have just had Retro do this shit from the beginning and not messed
Probably.
around with Bandai Namco and all kinds of
Right, yeah.
weird, crazy stuff they were trying to put together?
I don't doubt
Nintendo
Retro
has
was
made
working on
retro-
something.
Nintendo
just-
has made retro scrap shit before already, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, they made Retro stop what they're doing to work on
Look,
Metroid Prime
excuse
initially.
me, but they would have already gotten rid of Retro Studios if they don't have anything at this.
I know.
There's
You'd
no
think.
way they're gonna be paying light bills in Austin, Texas, for
But
5
remember
years.
what?
See, you
remember
ain't fooling me.
when,
You ain't getting me
Sure,
hyped
for it.
up for E3. You ain't.
I'm not saying anything about E3. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that no more.
He's
I did
lying,
like-
y'all.
I did
Don't
like
trust
3
him.
straight years in a row. I'm not doing
Don't
that.
trust
It's
him.
gonna be there. It's gonna be there.
Don't
I think a
trust
lot of
him. He got
Fuck
the
you.
doll
Fuck
out.
you,
Don't
Clockton.
trust
Fuck
him.
you.
a lot of people have always all this wishful thinking, and everybody knows everything. Remember when they were like, "Oh, we're almost done with Pikmin 4," and then Hey Pikmin came out, and me and T were like, "This is Pikmin 4,
That was
bitch.
me
Just
and you.
listen, you know." And I feel and I feel the same thing as with Retro's been working on a game. Retro's working on a game. Nobody ever confirmed that. And then it's like Retro's working on a game. And then Tropical Freeze fucking port came out. There you go. That's the game Retro was working on. And shut the fuck up. Now they're working on something else.
It wouldn't take that long to work on, though.
Yeah, it's in 5 years, man. Come on.
Yeah.
I know you.
I don't think we got enough evidence.
No, but
there.
like,
What-
but a lot of the time, people said, "Oh, what's going to be Retro's new game?" It's like, who said they're going to work on a new game? You
Retro's
don't know
new
what these people
game?
have been doing.
It wasn't fucking Funky Kong, man.
But they did work on that. That was
They
confirmed.
did.
They,
Well,
they
Retro's new
ported
game
it.
came out today. I believe it's an update. It's called Star Fox Racing.
Oh, you bitch. Did you
Star Fox
download it,
Racing
T?
for Starlink, bro.
T, did you download it?
I
Can-
haven't turned my Switch on
Can
at all.
you
today, actually.
imagine they were confirmed as the developers?
I would die.
I'm pretty sure they were
I think you guys
confirmed.
want that shit to happen. Just for the
Again,
fuck
yo,
of
it's
it.
collaboration
it's
in the
that
world.
It's that
Weren't they
fucking
confirmed to be-
character on the side.
I think they were confirmed to be the ones that ported Tropical Freeze, though, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, but porting doesn't take
Retro,
long,
yeah.
Yeah, but that's not enough evidence to.
They could have
But-
done that in a couple weeks.
They could have been working on something, and maybe Nintendo's like, next, and then they could have worked on something. And they're like, next, and they're like, oh, port this.
Oh, what?
Work
Did
on
they
some-
scrapped a bunch of ideas?
I mean, that's possible, but we won't know. There's no way to, even know that.
Like,
we won't
until-
know
unless-
until June of this year.
if there's
Unless
nothing at this
Nintendo goes
E3,
to Austin, Texas, and gets like massages from from those special massages from Retro Studios, they have to have something tangible.
to
this year.
justify their existence.
There's no way Nintendo's going to sit around. Nintendo's dropped people for way less. There's no way they're going to let them sit around and not have anything tangible at this point. No way.
And Nintendo did say that there's more games to be announced still for this year. That
Which
they
kind of
haven't-
still blows me the fuck away because I'm like, yo,
Bro, my wallet.
what else do we need? I'm good.
I think
set.
this leads into something I wanted to talk about, but I wasn't sure how to bring it up. When I looked at their list there, I'm like, oh, so I only gotta buy 2 games this year. Like, that's what I'm not as excited for. Animal Crossing does nothing for me. Fire Emblem's a maybe. Pokemon's a definite no.
Right.
Luigi's
Fire Emblem's a
Mansion.
maybe.
Luigi's Mansion depends on
Yeah, I don't understand that.
who's.
argument.
If it's like the same guys that made Dark Moon, then yeah, I'm getting that.
Essentially, Juice doesn't see a bunch of footage, is what he's asking.
And then, as much as Link's Awakening looks amazing, I love the new art direction. I've still played the game already, so it's like Shadow of the Colossus for me.
So what are the wait? So what are the two?
So Mario Makers and Zelda are the only one, or Astral Chain. Sorry, Astral Chain and Zelda. Mario Maker, I don't know if I count that because it's not really. It's coming out in the first half, and then everything else. I was basically talking about the second half of the year that people are.
I would still count it.
So to me, for me personally, as to have more games to buy, that they need more because I don't really care about majority.
don't need more. It's just you.
You need
They
to
need more for
expand your
his
horizons, bitch.
They need
Yeah.
more like variety. Like
That man don't want to
What?
play no kitty ass Animal
What?
Crossing.
Get the fuck out of here, yo.
You sound like one of those Nintendo fans. Yeah, I love Nintendo. Just Mario and Metroid.
Mhm.
That man don't want to play no kitty ass.
Animal Crossing, absolutely.
Play no kitty ass Animal Crossing.
I mean,
Who
to be
wants that
fair,
shit?
and just to kind of give my quick list, because mine does include a few third party titles.
Yeah, I'm
that were
not
announced.
even talking about third party. I'm just talking about.
Oh, if
Nintendo
okay, if we're
public,
talking
yeah.
about first party, then for me, because I'm not gonna get Mario Maker. That's not my kind of game personally. Like I think like Fire Emblem, and Fire Emblem comes out like a month later. I'm good. I might even get Ultimate Alliance 3. It depends on some factors with that, just because of how close it is to Fire Emblem. If I beat Fire Emblem before Astral Chain comes out, I'll go ahead and get Ultimate Alliance 3. Astral Chain definitely, and probably Luigi's Mansion 3, Pokemon. That's not even an argument with me, and probably Zelda. Am I missing one? I think that's it.
Animal Crossing.
I'm not. No, I can't.
The thing that's
I'll agree with Juice on that one. That doesn't do anything for me whatsoever.
the thing that's stupid with what Juice said though. It's like I understand what Collected like.
They need more variety.
Like, we need more. I mean, this year we literally got Kirby, Yoshi, Mario, Zelda, Star Fox Racing, Animal Crossing, Pokemon. You're getting apart from basically Metroid, every single fucking franchise is coming out this year and more.
A variety of genres. They're literally not one same genre.
That is true.
They're all
Yeah, it's
different
just kind of
genres.
like it feels like the year for the 3DS, the handheld fans. To me,
Nah,
Get out of
Fire
here.
Emblem. Where's Fire Emblem been?
Fire Emblem
most
was a
successful?
console game, man.
When's it been
Fire
most
Emblem-
It's
successful?
always been a
Fire
console
Emblem
game.
hadn't. The last time Fire Emblem was a console game was on the Wii, but that's still not that far away.
It's had its biggest success on the 3DS.
Oh,
Animal
what
Crossing
is that?
has
Hold
biggest
on.
success.
I'm not gonna let you pass. I'm not gonna let you slide by with that bullshit. Wait a minute.
Get him.
Does it matter if the game is good or where the biggest
Get him,
success
T.
happened?
Get
the
him.
hell out of
Get
here.
him.
Tell me, what
When-
does it matter where his
When's the
biggest
last-
success is, or
I guess
does it matter
Animal
if the game
Crossing
is
was-
good?
Just for me, looking at it, I'm like, yeah. In the past few years, these have been 3DS games. Now,
Now what, dude? Animal Crossing.
Listen.
Now you're pissing off Robert as well.
Listen. The Animal Crossing
Oh,
argument
he's
is in the air
hating on the
only-
Wii U.
No,
He's hating
listen,
on the
listen.
Wii U.
The Animal Crossing argument's still up in the air only because we haven't seen footage, but I have no doubt in my mind that's going to be like new footage. If these reports, that'd be a different story. But
well,
we've seen
I wasn't saying that as a bad thing. I'm like, if you look at it, like I said, the last 3-4 Fire Emblems been on 3DS.
Less than 10.
And what?
Yeah,
I-
but
The
that's
last
because they
and
don't wanna
most
bring it to
successful
Wii
Animal
U.
Crossing was on
and my
3DS.
question is, what does that even matter?
Dark Moon 2 on the 3DS.
These games
Yeah,
are coming to the
Link's
Switch.
Awakening, a Game Boy game.
GameCube.
It's not an insult. I'm just saying, like,
Nah.
it feels like, hey,
you're the
handheld
Wii U
game.
hater. You're the Wii U hater. Just because of franchises.
Dude, Animal Crossing.
Fire Emblem
had
is not a
started on
handheld
fucking
game.
console.
Animal Crossing.
You
is
don't.
started
You
on
guys. I
console.
guess you don't. You can get one.
No, we get what you're saying. You're just trying to minimize this shit by calling them handheld games.
No, but hold on.
No,
We're
I'm
not
just
letting you
saying
get
that.
by with
Isn't
that
it
shit.
weird? It's just kind of the way it all played out this year. That
It's
these
because
franchises have been very successful recently on a hand.
No,
and-
yeah, but the
Not a
Wii-
negative.
On the 3DS, which was more
Yeah.
popular than the Wii U.
Exactly.
know.
That's the only reason. It's because the Wii U didn't sell. well.
And
That's
they
the
were
only reason.
all pretty much on the Wii. The console
Robert
before it.
freaking out.
I
in
guess the
background.
problem is that you're trying to figure out what's the point of making that argument. I don't.
That's
I
what
don't-
I'm
I'm
trying to.
just-
That's why I keep trying to get. To
I literally
and
was
keep pressing
thinking
that
out
shit.
loud, and I'm like, hey, think about this. A lot of these
Yeah,
games.
well, don't think out loud, all right?
Are you denying Link's Awakening?
You
Was
got
a Game Boy
you got
game.
one.
yeah, but I mean, you also got to realize.
Dark
I mean,
Moon 2, the last
Dark
Luigi's
Moon
Mansion
2.
was on
I mean,
the
I
3DS.
get.
The last few Fire Emblems,
You
3DS.
reaching, man. You reaching.
The last
I don't-
Animal Crossing, 3DS. Like,
No, yeah, with the
Yeah,
That's because of the Wii U sales, bro.
No,
That's
he's
the only
wrong
reason.
because the last Animal Crossing was Amiibo Festival, right?
yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
relax.
All right,
Relax.
now, then.
Actually, I think that's still wrong because I think Happy Home Designer came after me.
Oh,
God
Happy
damn
Home
it, Terrell!
Designer.
Shut up, man! Shut up!
I'm just saying, I think Happy Home Designer came
Which
out
was a
either.
better game, sadly.
Regardless,
Yeah.
the only reason those are the last installments on 3DS is because on Wii U they didn't want to put anything that
That's
wasn't
true.
going to fucking
Yeah.
sell. So it was like,
Well, to me, it's also the thing is like that to me, I view that more as a positive than a negative anyway, because it's one of those things where it's like they groom those franchises on the 3DS. Now they have like distinct styles and ways that you can just.
Oh yeah, and Pokemon too. Sorry.
Well, Pokemon's always
excuse
been...
me. Hold on. Before we go further, excuse me.
God damn.
3D Land. Which one did better? Which did 3D Land do better than 3D World?
Probably.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Does it count for the same thing then? Are we gonna count that too? 3D Land. Oh, that was. I guess I just
don't. I don't get the point.
That's what the success was.
If they were coming out with another 3D World or 3D Land, 3D World type game, maybe I would. If that was coming out this year, I'd probably throw it on the list too.
But to my issue is that with Animal Crossing and like Luigi's Mansion, we don't have footage for those games to really make that same.
I'm not saying they're scaled down. I'm not saying they're not a console game.
He's not saying that. He's just.
I'm just saying if you look at the lineup, it's for me like I associate a lot of these franchises or a lot of these particular games with the handhelds in the last few years.
Well, but then
the question becomes like, what's the point then? What's the point?
I just thought it was an interesting thing. I thought of.
He has a point.
It's not interesting. It's distasteful.
No, he has a point for somebody. He has a point for somebody who started playing on Nintendo console in 2010, maybe. Maybe then you'd have a point. But we know that you've been playing longer than that. So
to me, I didn't even know Fire Emblem existed until Awakening. That's beside the point.
Pretendo alert.
That's beside the point.
You know what the absolute irony in all of this is Juice is the one who kept saying, "Yo, what are all the 3DS guys doing?"
Yeah. All the 3DS team.
And then the irony, to me, the irony is that now it makes way more sense why he's not as interested in this lineup, because he's not really a handheld gamer.
No, I mean, I've never played Pokemon. I never played Animal Crossing.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. But remember, you just associated a lot of those games with handheld. And
I was just I just saw I literally at that moment just thought about, oh yeah, like a lot. You can't tell me Pokemon's not a handheld franchise.
Yeah, but they're only.
Well, yeah, I'm not denying that.
I saw that, then I thought of Link's Awakening. I was like, oh, Fire Emblem to me is always it's been a 3DS franchise.
That's a misrepresentation.
So that that's all it was. It wasn't like, oh my god, this is gonna be like stripped down like Pokemon.
You threw Luigi's Mansion in there. I mean, come on, man. When did you buy Luigi's Mansion?
They're the best ones, City Folk.
2012.
The first time.
It's also it's kind of weird because the only.
I never owned the GameCube version.
The only series that makes the most sense to make the handheld statement with is Pokemon. Like everything else was on a console. Animal Crossing, Fire Emblem,
and
Luigi's Mansion
on a console.
So what?
I'd also argue a little on Juice's side. I'd also argue a little in terms of top-down Zeldas, right? But
that game literally is only.
There's more top-down Zeldas on the console.
Yeah, but again.
Yeah, I know. But in terms of recent, you have, in terms of recent years, top-down Zeldas.
No. What I'm saying is that's a young man argument, not no old man.
Yeah.
Just because I don't know, Fire Emblem was on what GameCube? What was the first system it was on?
It was on the. Wasn't it on the NES? NES or Super NES?
It started on the NES
in Japan.
It was on the NES. It was on the. It skipped the. It was on the GameCube. Wii.
Wasn't on Super Nintendo. It's on Game Boy Advance.
Yeah.
I guess
the problem is that you can make the same argument for Metroid, because Metroid had a bunch of handheld entries.
The thing is, Fire Emblem, it was big in Japan on the NES, and then we got it on the my first one was on the GameCube because we didn't have it on the NES here, and then I played the Wii one. But over here, it only became big in the handheld. But it doesn't change the fact that to me, for example, it is a console game because I started with it on the GameCube.
Even though, to be fair, the first localized game was the Game Boy Advance version, but it was always a console gaming experience. It's just that I don't know. I have no words, honestly. I'm gonna let T get his guns out.
I don't know what else to say. My head hurts.
From Juice's perspective, with certain franchises, you can see. I can understand where he's coming from in terms of many of these franchises.
Animal Crossing. Fuck you, man. Animal Crossing is a console game.
Yeah, I know. I know it is. I was there. I had my American GameCube version, man. The single memory card, the whole save on that one memory card. I did all that shit, right? And
I just wouldn't associate.
For me, Animal Crossing is console, Fire Emblem's console. Luigi's Mansion it still feels more console because that's what it started on, and we got a 3DS version, and now it's coming back to consoles. You know, I mean,
take that in handheld. Switch is a handheld at the same time. I don't know. It gets confused.
For me, I just don't. I don't
God
view it. It's one of those things where, like, because of the Switch's hybrid nature, it kind of lends itself to kind of mix the handheld and console only franchises. And since a lot of those console only franchises have made that migration during the 3DS era, I think it's gained a certain stigma of being handheld franchises without actually being handheld.
Well, the only one that's come over is Pokemon. If you want handheld stuff, where's my Advance Wars?
I think
that would imply that IP was still alive.
I know why this whole discussion is happening and why Juice is probably in this mode. I think all of this bullshit started when Game Freak was like, nah, we're making it as like a handheld game and shit. I think that's what started all this bullshit. Where they actively said, we're not putting in the effort, man. We're not doing all we can. We're just keeping this low key and shit. I think
we want this to be. What did they say?
Well, let me grab the quote.
I put that shit on Twitter. So many excuses.
Take advantage. They wanted to take advantage of the benefits of handheld play or something like that. And like, take advantage
of that for 20 years.
Exactly.
That's what the fuck. I mean, do something different. Now that you have the hardware to be doing something different, that's what you should be doing.
It makes it come off like they're scared. Yeah. Okay, here we go. Let me see. What was I want the actual quote. Damn it! I don't want these new titles. Give me something.
I can't think of another franchise that you can say, okay,
Pokemon Sword and
brought this
Shield
over from handhelds and
are being developed to emphasize the fun of playing Nintendo Switch in handheld mode.
Yeah,
we want these games to be played not only by long-time fans, but also consumers who first encountered the series, whose first encounter with the series was with Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. And my issue with that is it's not doing that either because it is abandoning some of the things.
They're going to play with one.
But are there that many people that actually never played a Pokemon game before?
Yeah, well, even that. Also,
I don't even think that's a big number.
It's also an argument that doesn't make sense because I'm like, well, you're not even using mechanics that were only in Let's Go Pokemon, Eevee, and Pikachu. So how the hell is that a valid statement?
They're just talking out of their ass, man.
I hate that only. I hate that only because it feels like it's an easy way to be like, yeah, I'm not gonna bother. But I guess I think the way they're looking at it is like Let's Go was a TV experience, whereas Sword and Shield are supposed to be a handheld experience, and I'm like, so that makes the second one better, and it should.
And some of these damn Pokemon fans are worse than Sonic fans, boy. I tell you. God damn.
That's
you bring shit up and they shoot
that
shit
depends
right
on it depends on where you're going with this, because there's a line here.
See, what do they think? What do they think?
I got so much blowback from saying they were lazy. Oh, they always do it this way. Yeah, that means they're lazy, motherfucker.
Well, the problem is that a lot of Pokemon fans have been kind of trained in a certain way of dealing with things.
What do you think that means, though? Do you think it means simple touchscreen controls? Do you think it means?
I mean, I'm cool with touchscreen. I actually want more touchscreen in my
single Joy-Con controls.
Games.
What do you think they even mean by that?
It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense because this literally looks like just based off of the first trailer and the footage we did get, it just seems like a continuation of Sun and Moon. So it doesn't even seem like it's simplified. I don't know what that means in the context of what we've seen compared to that statement. I think for Ricardo, we're just talking out of his ass.
When you take the whole library of what the Switch is, the only thing that means something, saying we made it for like for handheld, is when you take it on the go and you fucking share your goddamn Joy-Con. Then you made it for handheld, you know. Otherwise, it doesn't mean anything. A Pokemon won't let you do that. I think it's an excuse for them to be fucking lazy, because when you saw, for example, the Pokemon fighting and a Steel doesn't fucking slap another Pokemon in the face, it's just lazy. It's a way of but that's how it's always been, you know. It's just handheld.
The first time I slapped my yellow cartridge into my transfer pack on N64 and played Pokemon Stadium, I've been wanting some good change. I want for a handheld for a console Pokemon. I wanted something, an epic console Pokemon game. Everybody's wanted that.
We got all
these people who are making excuses right now wanted that shit too. But now that they see that's not gonna happen, they're just gonna do what they're gonna do. I'll just take whatever they give me here.
Remember, we
Why
got,
don't
all,
they
we
go
got all
upset?
excited. We got all excited about what was it, Gale of Darkness? Was it on the GameCube?
Yeah.
No, we
Um,
talk about Coliseum. We don't talk about Gale of Darkness.
Yeah, but
Yeah, no, it's
still,
one terrible, but fuck Gale of Darkness. That's all I'm gonna say.
it looked like what we wanted for the
Finally, look,
Pokemon console
finally
game,
we
you know.
got it.
But yeah,
Pokemon
it turned out trash. But
Yeah, people don't. And the irony of that is that Pokemon Coliseum and Gale of Darkness were developed by Intelligent Systems. So,
yeah, well, they fucking.
so the only
Yeah.
time you get a cool, interesting Pokemon
Yeah,
game
they don't even do
God
it.
damn.
is when someone, because they haven't developed any console Pokemon
No, they
games.
haven't.
The thing
All
they
the-
should have done with Pokemon, and seriously, I'm not getting this Pokemon. I'm buying the better Pokemon. I'm buying the I forgot the name of it now. They showed
On
the trailer
what?
a while ago.
Yokai Watch?
Yokai Watch. Thank you.
I'm gonna
Yes,
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Yokai
that is
Watch.
what it should have been.
I
That's
don't
what
know.
I'm feeling.
I saw some more footage. I'm like, yeah, it's not that much.
No, it doesn't need to be
Ahead.
exactly that, but I mean, like, more in the
I
3D,
think
more
you
in
just
the world,
appreciate
and
the
the
effort.
battle system, for
Yeah, I
example.
think you just
you know?
appreciate the effort being put into
It still
Yeah.
had some funny. Doesn't that still have some weird, like when you walk around, like fixed camera angles? Yokai Watch.
And Yokai, no, it's free.
I thought when they
It's-
did like a
no, it's
boss
free.
fight, it.
no, it's free roaming.
Okay.
It's
Might
they've
have
just
been a different-
expanded the world. Yokai Watch just has a weird battle system.
And yeah, if you play it on 3DS and then you look at this and you're like, that's what we're expecting. That's what we want.
Yeah,
That
'cause
kind
like
of a
the-
difference, you know.
Yeah,
Well,
Yokai is a lot more open to the idea of changing its battle system for the sake of creating
Improving the game.
a
Well, look
unique,
at
a unique
T brought
experience.
up 3D Land, 3D World when we're talking about the handheld stuff, but you couldn't tell me that somebody would be fooled by which versions a handheld and which versions like the console. They didn't just make the graphics look better. They had the cat suit so you can climb stuff, clear pipes. They had all this
Some
stuff
people act
that
like they were.
aren't possible. It wasn't possible with the 3DS for new gameplay elements. Yeah, it wasn't the Odyssey leap over. It wasn't 2D Land to Odyssey, but it still was. They took advantage of the hardware they were on. I had 4-player. Was it? Yeah, it was 4-player, wasn't it? Or was it
Yeah.
just 2? Yeah, 4 players on screen at once. I mean, they took advantage of the hardware and with the base 3D Land still the DNA still there. But they expanded upon it quite a bit. Fire Emblem, 3 houses. That doesn't look like they just took the 3DS game and gave it some better visuals.
I do.
That looks like that's how you go from 3DS to Switch with that much.
I do want to
hardware
make
jump.
it. I do want to give a defense for Sword and Shield and to give at least a reasoning why some Pokemon fans are still like excited. And the primary reason is this, because Pokemon always has had even though hasn't made huge advancements in gameplay in terms of their core mechanics, but some of the shit that you can do in the side game in recent games, people's biggest issue has been post game and just extra story content. So even if the game isn't like the huge graphical like leap that it should be, and I'm saying should because it should, it may make up for it for its extra content. Now that remains to be seen. Therefore, that's why it's still up in the air. But for me personally, that's part of the reason why I'm still excited is because I like the direction they were going in the last few games, where they were like, well, we really need to start trying to change how the story is structured to some degree. The problem is that it's always like a half step instead of like a full leap like it's supposed to be.
Oh, you mean the extra content is going to come out in a year called Pokemon Shield Force? And
No,
Sword?
I mean like
The
I put it this way:
Sword
there's a
Swipe.
reason why people's favorite game generation was the last DS titles, which were Black and White and Black and White 2. Because if you went back and looked at like the original like Diamond and Pearl and then went to go look at Black and White 2, you were like, that doesn't even look like that should be able to work on this game. That they were trying 3D back on the DS consistently. That's why I like when you got to X and Y, it was like, okay, everything's in 3D now. But I can only walk in 8 directions. We didn't get free range movement until like the third 3DS game. Like it's very
Don't tell me you can't do
incremental.
that shit because Xenoblade Chronicles is on that damn system.
Well, yes.
So don't tell me you.
I
couldn't
was
do
gonna
it.
say only in the
You
new
know,
3DS, but I mean,
But
even
yeah,
Luigi
okay.
mentioned-
But my point is that obviously you don't have to make a game that big.
yeah,
You could probably do a game much smaller than Xenoblade Chronicles on the regular 3DS.
in a 3D world like that. So
I need to, like I said, like for me, I agree with the idea that Pokemon suffers from very small incremental changes, and that's what's hurting it a lot right now. But
thing
I
that
will
I
reserve
just-
my full judgment until at least I see like some more footage of it.
The thing I just hated most about the new Pokemon game
It
is
didn't look like
I
a
think
change.
it looks nice. I think it looks nice.
yeah, it looks nice. Yeah.
My problem with it is just that I wanted the battle system to evolve, and you could even keep it turn-based. I don't care, but it
Oh, it needs
feels
to stay
like
turn-based.
the character models almost look like fucking worse than the goddamn Pokemon Go shit, for example.
Well, that's
I mean,
because they
like, my
changed the
problem is like
shading.
either have like if you keep like I said, I wanted like a Xenoblade or like a Yokai Watch kind of battle system. That was just a personal thing. Okay, you leave it like this, whatever. But then even this, it is still the same. The Pokemon are so far apart. When you're in the battlefield, it still looks shitty. And then the Pokemon, they're still like sitting on the other fucking end of the level, and they do like, do like a tail whip, and then you see this light flash over the enemies. Like, no, come on, it's like make the Pokemon goddamn have a few fucking frames of animation or something.
I understand why that takes a while, and I'm a little bit more lenient. But the problem is they've had since 2013 to do some of these changes, and they just haven't done any.
Well, think about someone, Surmel 11 saying, it looks good to them, and they just want a bigger version of a better looking 3DS game. But imagine if Nintendo.
And I can agree with that.
Imagine if Nintendo just took from the Super NES to N64, Link to the Past. That was a great game, great reviews, sold well. Let's just keep kind of the same angles and the same. We'll just make it look a little bit, better, more modern. And then they never tried Ocarina of Time. Like that's. I'm not saying
you say that, but the argument was also made for Zelda, and I know you won't agree with it, but the argument has been made from some people from Zelda that Zelda stagnated for a while until.
Ocarina of Time was.
No, I'm saying Ocarina of Time became the blueprint, and every game off there.
That's what
they were going to do that. If you looked at the first footage for Zelda on N64, they were using like the old squished down looking Link model and whatnot. They had him fighting a Dark Nut or whatever. There's a really old footage of that. So they were doing that, and they just kept saying, "Oh, we can push this thing more. We can do more. We can do more." And I just wish Game Freak would do that too.
Well, yeah, but Terrell makes a good point. It also it backs up both situations where they took the leap. They made one of the greatest reviewed, highest reviewed, most people's #1 games of all time list. But after that, then they pulled a Game Freak and they stayed pretty, other than Wind Waker visually, but they stayed to that formula for like 4 games there, and it did get stagnant.
I will so argue against that because
I mean,
to compare the differences between, even if Zelda used these Zelda games use the same format in terms of you go out to the open world, you do dungeons in this particular order. Right? The games themselves, gameplay wise, right? You go from Ocarina of Time, Galloping Lost, you go to Majora's Mask with fucking time system. You can swim around as a Zora, you can roll around as a Goron. You go to Wind Waker where you're flying through the air with a leaf. You're sailing on the ocean. You're doing all this stuff, and then you go to Skyward Sword. You got full on fucking motion.
I'm not saying it's the same tier. I'm just saying
it's not the same tier. It's night and day.
Close. Get that
I'm not saying it's the same tier.
Day.
I will agree though that people were ready for it to evolve. It had
it's still
when Skyward Sword came out, they were ready for it to evolve.
The funny thing is, people didn't want Zelda to evolve. They wanted it back to the roots, and that's what they did with Breath of the Wild. Breath of the Wild became what people actually wanted. It's still 3D, but they still evolved the gameplay by taking shit that was good in the past and putting it in this one.
And actually, I think Surmel brings up something that I think Pokemon has an issue with that Zelda never would, and that's because Pokemon has more mass market appeal in the sense that the difference
more casual appeal.
It's considered way more casual, and I feel like Game Freak is stuck in this weird position where they're like, well, we can't make it too different because that's what the old school fans want, but we also need to casualize it to a degree for the new players. And I'm like,
Listen to how much you're defending this, right?
No, I'm saying, how is that a defense? That's literally
Get him.
You're
Get
talking
him.
about changing it too much. All Retro and I are talking about is some fucking animation
Yeah.
in a
Oh
battle
no,
system.
I agree with
I was
That's
that.
gonna
Right?
say the same
That's it.
thing.
No. I agree with that. I would prefer that. But and like I said, they've had since 2013 because they've had 3D models of these
They
Pokemon
could have done
since
that a long time ago.
2013 to make custom animations, and they haven't done it. Now, the original argument is that it was the hardware. Then Let's Go came out, and I wasn't happy about that. Hence why I didn't buy the game. Now, to be fair, we haven't seen a lot of it, but it doesn't look like there's a lot of this change.
I was gonna say, but now we have to the point. Okay, so before it was like a space issue, you know. So now we're here, and now we got to what T just said. You know, now we have Xenoblade Chronicles 2 on this system, which is a massive fucking game. The Switch can do so much right now. There's absolutely no reason for not go that little extra mile.
Oh,
when it
no,
comes to
yeah, I agree.
animation.
Oh no. Like I said, I agree with that. I'm just saying
That's what I said in my tweet. It's like
it
I'm not
unfortunately
asking
looks
for a
like
lot
the
here.
direction they're gonna go is another incremental upgrade, which seems fucking ridiculous because that would have been tolerated for Let's Go because Let's Go was trying to be more casual. Fine,
Right.
if you want to do that, whatever. But when you go into a new generation, it needs to feel like a new generation. That's honestly that was my issue with the first 3DS game, X and Y. X and Y
Yeah.
felt like, oh look, it's in 3D, and that's the gimmick.
That's pretty much it. Yeah.
Fucking hated that game. I still
Well,
think that's the worst.
you know what?
generation.
They say like, oh, if Pokemon changes, it'll drop in sales. I just don't see how that's true at all because I don't know anyone that doesn't say, oh, I want that big open world Pokemon. You know, like
No.
Yeah, like who doesn't say
That was
that?
crazy.
Everybody says that
That shit
until
was-
the game's about to come out and it looks like it's not going to change. And everybody's
Yeah, like
oh,
some of those changes are things that I would have just preferred in general. And I don't like the fact that the world design is still too fucking like linear as fuck.
Yeah, because
yeah,
they
it
made
looks too
look like-
linear.
It looked like it was open, but it really isn't. It's just slightly bigger areas, and like it doesn't look like you could change that camera angle. Like, come on, like there's just things like that you can't.
I'm not a huge stickler
It's
for that shit.
2019, man.
As an
I'll tell you
RPG,
what.
that doesn't bother me too much, but I can understand your argument.
That made such a huge difference in going from PS2 to PS3. I borrowed God of War 3 from a guy I work with. The first thing I did was move that right thumbstick, seeing if I could move the camera around. And when he dodge rolled, it just like completely dashed my hopes for that game. I was like, they did nothing other than make it look better. It still plays, still has all the same flaws. It still has the annoyances when you that fixed camera Resident Evil shit. You're trying to cross a bridge, and the camera switches to an angle on the fly, and because you're holding to the right, now to the right makes you walk off the bridge, and I died. I'm like, literally, this is the PS3, and you still have the same problems you had on way inferior hardware. You know, like that's the kind of shit. It maybe seems small, but it wasn't until they actually got past that with this new game, and they changed it up quite a bit. But look how well it worked out for the franchise.
I'm just gonna also
they
side-
said- Go on.
Also, side note, I'm gonna just say this real quick, Melvin, for why he's asking how would it work as an open world game. Literally, you could take Dragon Quest 11 as an example, which they're porting to the Switch anyway. Which is all you do is you have Pokemon wandering around on the overworld, and you attack and you run into them, and it turns back into a turn-based battle system. I personally don't want to get rid of the turn-based battle system. I want that to be stated.
That needs to stay. I
But
have no
my
problem.
issue is that doesn't mean you can't change the world design. That is not the same thing. Like the
Right.
world design and the gameplay mechanics are two different things. You can literally have it where I can run around the overworld, see a Pokemon like you did in Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. You walk up to it instead of that fucking mini game that was a piece of shit. You could just do a normal turn-based battle and catch them, and have like a real story that's not hampered by the fact that my main character doesn't change facial animations when shit's going down. That was the most annoying fucking thing in Sun and Moon. Someone be on the verge of getting hurt, and my character's just sitting there blankly smiling in the situation.
Mm-hmm.
But
Basic
that's gonna hurt
shit.
the mass appeal if you get
That was
all
basic shit that killed me.
Oh no! If you add
Just
some
think-
emotion to your characters, oh no, the casuals won't like
that's,
it. Like
that's
no.
gonna kill the casuals.
Just
Yeah,
like that thing that Terrell just said. Just take that. a mobile game. The one thing that most people like that thing did right was you had Pokemon in the overworld. Now you get a new Pokemon game. The map is a little bit bigger. You see a bit more, and they remove the Pokemon from the overworld again. He's just going backwards again.
Oh, backwards.
I mean, that's one of those things. You have to adapt. All right, we got all this hardware power now, which they obviously aren't taking advantage of from what we've seen of the game right now. Fill that world with fucking Pokemon running around. Like, it seems like a complete obvious thing to me. I'm on the outside looking in, but man, just let's go to the next level and like have all the world alive.
Like it's lived in.
Because they're still doing that thing where, okay, here's a patch of grass. When you walk in the patch of grass, there's where the Pokemon are
That's
at.
so stupid.
And I'm like, yo, if you just made an open field and just had Pokemon wandering in the open field, and then you run into them, there goes the battle. That's all you need. That's all it is.
That's gonna make Pokemon fans run away. What the fuck?
Imagine seeing
people act like that, like what the main request is something overly exaggerated. I'm like,
It's
no.
not.
Look at high selling RPGs today and just copy that. Walk into an area, there's a bunch of enemies walking around. You'll walk into them because then the world doesn't feel like it's stilted. Like I gotta walk in this specific patch of grass to get something to happen to me. I should be able to walk into a field and go, damn, there's a Chikorita, there's a Bulbasaur, there's a Pidgeotto flying there.
What if you didn't even see the whole thing? What if you just saw out of the grass a fucking tail poking up and you think you might know what it is, and as you start moving, the tail goes down, so you got to be quiet. I mean, it might not be for every Pokemon, but let's say this one situation, so you got to creep up and wait for it to pop back up so you know where it is again, and like that would just add a cool little
and mystery and charm in my
well,
games.
the irony is, Juice, they did add a sneaking feature in Sun and Moon, which is kind of like that, where you can.
But if you can't see that they're in there, then
all you see is, I think, is a shadow. That's all you get in the Sun and Moon. You get like a shadow to tell you there's a Pokemon there. Dead.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, those aren't hard changes to do.
No, that's what I said on Twitter. I'm not asking for much here. Why are you guys jumping on my head? I'm asking for little simple
because
things.
People don't understand the argument, and they don't understand because I think a lot of older fans are kind of like, yo, we're kind of getting to that wall again where shit's just kind of the same, and that's what's bothering people. It's like, oh, look, you're gonna add like 2 or 3 new mechanics, and that's it. And we're like, yo, come on, like we're better than this, yo, and we are, but you know. This also, I think, is another issue of Game Freak. You know, maybe take 2 or 3 years off and make a real fucking game. Yeah. Don't do this shit where you don't have to put out another game in a year.
But why stop doing that when they keep making money and these fans keep buying it? So why stop that? You don't give them any incentive to stop doing that. Ubisoft with the Assassin's Creed, they had to stop basically because the sales started slumping a little bit, and they were like, "Oh, we gotta do something different here."
Yeah, but the problem with the casual series like Pokemon is the Pokemon appeals to all ages. So even if some stop, the kids can easily make that up. Unfortunately,
how old's the franchise?
20. Is it just 20?
Pokemon came out.
You got fans in their 40s that have, like, I hate to use this phrase, but have grown up with your franchise. This is
grown up with them.
But so I linked in the live chat. I linked a video to Easy Allies. It was it Bosman or something? His name. You can tell this guy knows his Pokemon. I would wager, as knowledgeable, if not more, than Terrell, just based on what he's saying. I have no clue some of the stuff. Instantly, he sees it and he knows. And he's rattling off names and Pokemon. Seeing his like genuine reaction, where he knows he's disappointed, yet he's still excited because he's a Pokemon fan and he can't help but be excited for a new game. But you can just hear him in his voice, and he says stuff that you're like, yeah, he wanted more. He's still going to play it, and he's still excited for it, but he wanted more, and you could just see it. There's no hiding from it. There's no denying it. And it was one of the most like genuine looking reactions.
It's because of the reality that for a lot of people, the way they got into RPGs was through Pokemon. Pokemon, when you make the argument baby's first RPG, that's what it is. That was a lot of people's gateway. And to play a bunch of good RPGs from different developers, even from Nintendo themselves, and then to come back to Pokemon and realize you've gone through these really fucking small incremental changes, just kind of pisses you off, because it's like, we know you got the money, we know you got the developers, you just won't give yourself the time and just make the fucking game. And like, I still want to play it. That's the sad thing. I still want to play it. I'm not gonna say and bullshit you. I'm still probably gonna get it. That's the kind of guy I am, unfortunately.
It really does.
That's
feel like,
my gimme franchise. Why
it
don't
feels
well,
like
that's
that.
Sonic.
It feels like the Call of Duty thing. Like, people buy it every year. They buy
complain
it
about it every
first
year.
week. They're complaining about everything, how this didn't change or how this changed too much, and yet they buy the next game every year.
It's not the exact same. I'll say that. I think
Yeah,
It's very similar.
I'm sure Pokemon fans aren't as negative about when they get it, and it's
Probably not. Yeah.
No,
probably not,
Pokemon. I would say Pokemon's drop didn't really happen until after 2013 when X and Y came out. That's when the drop happened.
so people didn't pick up Sun and Moon and like all of a sudden say, "Man, this didn't give me this one thing I wanted about maybe the next game." That's what a lot of
It
Call of
was
Duty.
mostly
Sonic-
positive for Sun and Moon.
Sun and Moon was an improvement in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
And then Ultra Sun and Moon came out. Actually, Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee was probably the other drop, because we were like, the first fucking Switch game, and it's another fucking remake of Gen 1, which, by the way, this is what, the 4th time we've had this happen? It just bums me the fuck out, yo. That shit, but I think that was a bigger blow to me than anything else.
And why can't they just make the Let's Goes for the young? Just break off and, hey, here's going to be our entry level, younger audience, rated G Pokemon game. And then here's this one where we have a more in-depth story, actual expressions on characters' faces. It doesn't have to be so simple that a 5-year-old's going to be able to play this. They have enough money, I would think, and the resources to split it off. And maybe you're like, well, why do they need to? They could make it both. I think it's to the point where you got the 30, 40-year-old Pokemon fans who wouldn't mind a little more. I mean, just look at Detective Pikachu. I guess that's a spin-off type game that has a little more adult humor and stuff.
Pokemon has a bunch of spin-offs.
But it's like
Pokemon Ridge.
I don't know.
Get the fuck out of here, yo.
Puzzle
With
League.
that bullshit. Like, listen. If Fire Emblem finishes up and they do their DLC and then we're done with that game, hell, go and make another Coliseum game. God, I would kill for another Coliseum game. People don't know. I don't even need a mainline series.
Make Pokemon Snap VR edition.
Okay, listen.
Yeah.
People, y'all's obsession with that game kills me, yo.
I don't get the obsession with Pokemon.
It was
Snap at
one
all.
game on the N64. It wasn't even that good, and people,
It wasn't good at all.
People won't shut the fuck up about it. It just drives me
Not
nuts.
You know
the VR
why
camera,
people like? Because I'm one of those people who loves Pokemon
Because
Snap.
you're
You
part
know-
of the problem is what you are.
You know why people love that game
don't
so
get
much?
it.
Because it's fucking immersive. You were in the goddamn Pokemon world, and now they still can't do that shit.
But that
Well, no,
game,
probably-
okay, take that game right there and put it out today. That game would be utter trash. It's like this is all you got. Back
Well, it's just
then,
like
it was
that-
cool because Pokemon was a Game Boy game, so it was cool to see all those
that's why the
Pokemon running
stadium
around in
games were
3D world.
popular.
Right. So I get it for back then. I get the appeal, but wanting a new one, really?
Well, I was
Nah.
saying to go with the VR, not be a full-fledged 60.
Well, the VR makes sense.
Right. VR.
With
That
that
would make more
camera?
sense, right?
the camera one. I think that would be.
I give it more
you had
credit
it,
because it had a lot of quirks and shit about it. Like if you hit a Pokemon in a certain way as they were running through a field, you could trigger another event. That
Yeah, it was
cause
deeper than it looked at first.
I gave it credit. That's why I don't say it's a bad game, but it definitely is one of those games where I'm like, I feel like you need to go back and play it. Like I feel like it's one of those games. Like I think you
just
need to go
played it
back and play it
a couple
seriously.
weeks ago. I'm like, I still don't understand, man.
I mean, Stadium will always have its charm for a few other reasons, but god damn it, like I'm so past some of the bullshit
All right,
of
so-
modern Pokemon. But yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Fuck Pokemon. Someone brought up an interesting thing I didn't know, that Dragon's Dogma game. I didn't know Capcom published it.
Dark Arisen.
Yeah, I knew that.
It's coming out at $30.
Mm-hmm.
And C,
Isn't it already out?
It's almost a 16 gig
Yeah, let me go
game.
look on the eShop real quick.
Yeah, it's already out.
It's almost a 16 gig game, and it doesn't you don't have to download anything.
Uh-huh.
So Capcom put a $30 game out on a 16 gig cart.
Yeah, this is the type of shit that just drives me insane about
Capcom can do it.
They've done it. They've done it before. They do it here and there. It's really selective. They can do it. They just
But why the fuck?
bullshit.
Why isn't a huge title like Mortal Kombat 11 using the 16 gig cart for a $60 game? I don't.
Because it's like, well, the game isn't going to completely fit. Why not just buy the cheapest fucking cart possible and make them dime low more?
Yeah. Well, funny
That's
story.
why they do it. I mean,
Mortal Kombat 11 already has a $10 price cut. It's $50 right now on Best Buy and I'm guessing Amazon.
Well, but that's only two. Apparently in GameStop, there's still 60 and stuff.
Well, GameStop doesn't do sales.
Still ain't. GameStop can afford to do sales. They broke it.
So if anybody was interested, the Switch version is $49.99 right now.
I wish I waited like 3 days, yo.
Dude, yeah, that thing hasn't even been out a week.
I got the Steam version for $20 in a couple of months.
But you know what's weird is that
Seriously.
apparently it's the biggest launch of the franchise. So
Well, because it's on 3 systems for the first time.
Yeah.
what do you mean? Because
It's never launched. Well, 4 I think if it's on PC. I heard the PC port's pretty terrible, but
Wait, what game?
Mortal Kombat's never launched on every major platform out there. Like,
It's
always been Xbox and PlayStation, and then maybe the PC later.
But probably on the Wii, didn't they have Deadly Alliance? Like on
that's not the same game.
It wasn't a main line.
That's not even the same.
That's like fucking Sub-Zero like mythology shit. I mean, come on.
What Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance? You sure? Isn't that shit a fighting game? I remember.
Also,
it's a
Mortal
fighting
Kombat.
game.
Also, Mortal Kombat 11 doesn't deserve to
It's
sell that well.
technically
That's all
the
I'm
same
saying.
game, but it's not the same game.
And I got a Digital Foundry was like, this is basically the closest the Switch has a third-party multiplat's gotten. The Switch versions is the closest to the PS4, Xbox One as any game in their estimation, just because it's 60 frames, so you don't have that major sacrifice, and it's still, it looks decent. But that crypt, I don't know if we talked about this last week.
No, we didn't. It came out like
God.
remember because it was the day before it came out last week.
The 3D moving around sections in Mortal Kombat 11.
Oh, fuck that, yo.
I'm not shitting you, T, if you haven't seen the footage.
It's ridiculous.
It looks below Wii level visuals. It's
Dude,
so
Ocarina of Time had better
embarrassing.
fucking textures.
Well,
It
all right,
is.
I don't know.
Let me see if I can find a video.
I also
it's
think Mortal Kombat 11 has too
pretty
much
fucking
bullshit with it anyway.
Yeah, that's
Like with the fucking
don't bring on.
not the censorship. No, not. I mean, that's an issue, but that's not what I'm referring to. I'm referring to all the issues with the loot boxes and the gear system and the different types of currency just to get skins and animations and shit. Like there's just too much shit going on with this game. Plus the whole day one DLC with what was it? No, Shao Kahn, right?
You look at these visuals.
Well, I think it was Shao Kahn. Like if you just buy the game, because I could have Shao Kahn by just buying. I don't know.
I think it was a day one. If you bought the game day one, you get them. But if you get it later, you essentially got to buy them again.
To be fair, it's kind of like Piranha Plant for Smash.
But I think
it is.
Yeah, and also.
But that doesn't make that situation any better either.
No, I know, but I mean, it's kind of similar.
You didn't have to pre-order. All you had to do was just buy the game. You had like 4 months to register it for. You still can register it and get Piranha Plant. Like that deadline isn't over. It was like June.
Also, though, I think I'm not 100% sure, but if you beat the story mode, I'm pretty sure you can unlock Shao Kahn. I might be wrong, but it's like,
I'm not gonna. I can't say nothing towards that because I don't know.
I don't know 100%, but like I think that's the thing. Because I remember for X, I'm pretty sure that's how it was. Also, they always
What is this god awful dog shit?
Yeah,
dude, doesn't that not look like a Wii game?
This is terrible.
It's weird. It's weird because the character looks so good, and then all of a sudden
there's no texture.
God.
Everything else is nothing.
I guess the good news is that you only got to come in the crypt to get items and shit.
But yeah, you still spend quite a bit of time. This game plays 30 minutes.
The funny thing about the crypt thing is that when people are like, oh, did you see the textures in the crypt and shit? I was like, what the fuck is the crypt and shit, So I looked at the footage that I think Juice linked that and shit and looked at it. I was like, hey, wow, cool. There's like 3D sections you can walk around. And then, yeah, I saw the textures, but in my head I was still like, hey, cool, there's 3D sections you can walk around.
This is like the way of the Hado on Ultimate Street Fighter.
I wonder.
No, well, you know what though? The crypt shit is pretty fucking cool. Like I remember, at least at Mortal Kombat X, it was cool walking around. It is
Combat
cool.
Mythology, Sub-Zero.
No, but it has
someone
nothing to
has
do with that.
garbage.
That's just like it's weird because it's like basically it's like where you unlock stuff, and so instead of basically it's like a menu without navigating.
It's a menu that's in 3D.
Interactive
Yeah.
menu.
Yeah,
And honestly, it
doesn't-
doesn't even to me. It doesn't need to exist.
But if
But
you
yeah,
look at,
that's what I'm saying. I don't even
but
do
why
it.
does it look that bad?
I don't know. It's bizarre.
I think because it's a fighting game developing a
It looks-
3D area for no reason.
But
Looks
look
like
at
doo-doo.
look at the other versions of it, and it's like it looks pretty good.
They look like Onimusha Warlords and shit.
Looks more like God of
A
War
PS2 game,
4 on the PS4 version. Looks like it could hold its own with God of War at times. And I mean, not the character model, but it's just
I think the
one of those
obvious
things.
reason is just that the fighting itself looks so. They put everything in there, so it had to come from somewhere.
Well, yeah, I
maybe,
mean,
and that's when they took it out of the most
I just
useless
probably the
shit.
development time
This-
didn't allow for the.
And honestly,
This wouldn't be a deal breaker. I wouldn't care.
No,
about this
but
at
it's
all,
still
it just
funny as
looks
shit.
terrible.
it looks ridiculous, but like I don't know. It also has a bunch of slowdown in it.
Yeah. I've
Oh,
seen
yeah,
the
it runs
slowdown
like
when he
trash,
opens the
too.
chest. Like, is this?
It's one of those modes where it's like, let me just get my. That's why I hate the loot box system because you have to constantly go in here to get shit.
Now this is to me. This is
But I think that's fucking cool is to walk around. It
this is a
reminds me of
bigger.
territory.
The
To
concept
me-
is cool, but considering what it's for is what pisses me off.
I thought Mortal Kombat Mythology was going to be cool too, but nope. I was
It's
Yeah,
one-
excited.
like,
I think it's
uh,
one of those things where the concept's cool. I hate what it's used for. That's what pisses me off.
Yeah.
But the Switch version reminds me of that Xenon Racer Switch
Oh.
version versus.
Oh, we
the
don't
rest.
talk about that, yo.
You know
You
they
look at-
changed all the
It's
pictures
not
and
that
stuff.
bad. Not that bad.
They
It
changed
is.
all
You
the
look-
shit on the eShop. You know that, right?
It's
They
not
changed-
because it's not that they haven't misrepresented it, but when you look at the difference, like side by
that's
side,
debatable.
Yeah, he's saying the visual difference. between
the
what they
visual
were
difference
showing
is
to what was
they're not.
actually
They didn't
Xenon
try to
game.
fool people by
Yeah.
showing something that it wasn't. But I'm just saying this is a pretty big drop. But I just thought it was funny because it
Did he
looks.
just run through a puddle of water or a texture? I couldn't tell.
See, the answer to your question is yes.
Yes.
But overall, it seems like the
That's
port
funny.
was the rest of the port seemed to be.
Yeah, I heard it was. a
I
really good
think
port.
it's a pretty fair port. I just don't think the game.
Yeah, I
It's worth it.
can't get past all those fucking interruptions to the. It just flash over substance to me. It just doesn't do it for me. But
Well, Mortal
anyway,
Kombat's been Flash for.
yeah,
quite
it's
some
been
time.
that way.
Yeah,
But just seeing like it looks weird too. You got these when you take games, and put them in, especially like the Xbox One X version, and you make these super realistic looking guys, but when they jump and roll, it still kind of looks like the original game, kind of. It just kind of looks funny. It's kind of
Some
one of those.
stiffness.
It's like when you make it look too realistic, but you keep the
The
kind of
physics.
the fakeness of it, the way the characters move, because they have their kicks has to be identical every time. Their punch has to be for the fighting game. It just looks funny to me.
That shit funny to me.
Oh no!
T got it. GG.
Nothing was funnier than whooping your guys' ass in Smash the other night. So
Why you always get them? You always got to do this, yo.
And-
Calling
and
out
it was-
cards.
it was-
Listen. He got this bias against handheld games, and he's on out here talking a bunch of bullshit.
we ended after I won the Smash Down little tournament we did. We did some 1-on-1s, and yeah, I think I went undefeated. Other than I had that weird inkling match where
Where you lost?
I don't
Or
remember.
how
It.
about
Like I
the
had,
fact that the last match I won. You're not gonna bring that up.
I don't remember that.
Mr. Game.
Oh yeah. When we played, didn't we play 3-man the last
Well,
game?
the last one.
Yeah,
One.
yep,
Yeah,
You're right.
Let's just end it.
The 1-on-1s though, I was undefeated.
I do remember that because Robert was.
That's
kept
'cause I
saying
wasn't there
GG
anymore.
for
Oh
the
yeah, and
longest
then
time.
also, first of all, the Smashdown shit was so fun. It was great.
Especially Robert's self-destructing multiple
Robert
times.
is the funniest when
Well,
he kills himself.
That was first of all, I should have won Smashdown. It was pretty bullshit because it was. There's so many times where again, yeah, self-destruct in the beginning, and I looked like I would have just lost so many times. Like that was it. I am done. And then all of a sudden I come back. It was about to be a comeback. I was in the lead, and then I choke and lose. It's pretty
It was
bad.
fun
There's a
though.
lot of depression going
That
on.
mode should be in the online options. That was fun.
It kind of is if this Jigglypuff thing has to do that.
Yeah,
That's
for
a
those that are just
weird
joining,
trigger,
like when
man.
this podcast started, I linked a video on Terrell's channel where we were ending it. We had one character left. We had 4 people, only one character left. So we picked random, and the events that followed were just, you can't make this shit up.
That's
It was,
hysterical.
and if it wasn't 1:30 in the morning, I would have been shouting, but I just couldn't. I don't want to be that guy that wakes his neighbors.
I will. Fuck
But
my
Terrell
neighbors.
was shouting. That's for
I
sure.
was like, what?
Yeah, I was done, yo. After I saw that shit, I was like, "Fuck you, we're done." I can't.
That was
What the
pretty awesome. It was great.
And then my mother screamed at me after I got off
I'm
the screen.
sure. Yeah, you were
Yeah.
yelling pretty fucking.
Oh yeah, I
loud.
was gone. I didn't care.
Oh, this just in: retailers are doing their best to get rid of their PlayStation 1 classics. Some of them giving them shits away for free.
Oh, really?
That's so
I
sad.
think it's down to
man.
40.
That is so sad. I guess they're doing some kind of deal where you can get one for free if you buy some other stuff.
They have
That's sad, man. That
to.
is
Otherwise,
sad.
they're going in the landfill.
They go next to ET cartridges.
If someone,
Oh,
if you were in the store and they're like, if you were buying a game, like, hey, we'll give you this PlayStation 1 Classic. You want it? Would you take a free version?
I don't even know if
Fuck
I take
yeah.
that shit.
yeah, a free version, hell yeah, I'll take it.
I was like, I'm
I
good,
would- I
dog.
honestly wouldn't play it. I seriously would not play it.
I would probably
I
not play it. I probably
probably
would take it,
wouldn't
but I would never
Necessarily
play it.
but I would take it. Of course,
Yeah.
I.
oh, do we
It's
want to
free.
casually? Also, side note, you want to casually mention that the Gearbox guys are like, we would love to see Borderlands on the Switch.
Yeah, what does it have to exstantiate itself, or are you gonna make it? We'd
Oh,
love
wait,
to
it
see
pisses me
it.
off because I'm like, guys, you just announced the 3rd game, and then like,
Right.
oh, by the way, we would love to see it on Switch.
I hate
and we're
that
like,
terminology. We'd love to see it there. Like,
I'm like, bitch,
Then
just
put
put
it
it on the
there.
once you
goddamn
gonna do
game.
it, bitch.
Yeah, just put
What
it on
did-
the goddamn console.
What did Nintendo say? There's 23 games that have sold over 1 million on the Switch
Right.
now.
Yeah.
So, all right, we
They
better
also-
wrap this up because it's getting late.
Yeah, we're getting
and,
late, getting long in the tooth.
So,
They got big teeth.
yeah, we'll skip the final thoughts because that usually takes 20, 30 minutes.
Oh,
so.
That's
man.
because you want to, and side note, I will just say, Detective Pikachu's coming out soon, so
That looks fantastic. Every trailer looks better, and
I'm looking forward to it.
supposedly
Well, I wanna-
Sonic trailer's coming out tomorrow.
hey, listen,
That's
I don't want to talk about it. Don't
garbage.
bring it up.
I wanted to
Don't
throw a RIP out there. I was saving it for my final thoughts, but
Go
since
ahead.
we doing it, just learned that John Singleton, director, passed. Director
Oh,
of
really?
Boys in the Hood and
Yeah.
Higher Learning and Baby Boy. He apparently
Oh,
had a
Lord.
stroke. And they pulled the plug on him just recently. So thoughts out to the family. Like he was only 51 years old, man.
Damn.
It's crazy. Yo.
I think I'm more blown away by that.
Ah,
That happens, man.
that's crazy. And I'm like, he makes you think about your own mortality because I'm like, he had better health insurance than I got. I know you. Like, if he can go,
Then you
out
see
like
these
that,
fucking Rolling Stone band members in their 80s. They're
Right.
still touring. They look younger than me,
been doing drugs since
Except
they were
for-
5,
except for the
and
main guitar guy. What's
but
his
the
name?
minute they
Listen,
stop, they're dead, though.
Juice, all you need to do is just do some cocaine and you'll be fine.
Something, whatever they do is
They
Just a
doing
little
all
bit.
kind of shit.
look at
Just a little
Sting.
bit to get you high.
Sting, he was looking super healthy. I don't know about recently, but a couple years ago, I was like, dude, that's
Sting from the Police. Oh, Sting,
Mhm.
he clean. He clean though. He never had that kind of life.
yeah. But anyway, thanks everybody for tuning in.
You're welcome.
The Switch is obviously better than the N64, GameCube, Wii U, and Virtual Boy, for sure.
Juice is a handheld hater.
Yep, I know. When I think of Fire Emblem, I think of handheld. I'm sorry, that's just facts for me.
That's
That doesn't
because
make
he
it
wants to
true for you.
That's also because he
true
wants
for
to
me.
hold Lucina in his hands.
Actually, mean true.
But
So it's not.
anyway, been a fun one, and Nintendo selling well, so obviously that's reason to love the Switch. And I think it was Clocked It made a good point. The people that love the Wii U seem to be the most critical of the Switch, and the people that hated the Wii U are now blind, absolute diehard Switch fanboys to no end. And it's just a weird correlation.
That's
It's
weird.
pretty true though. I mean, I'm not for everyone. It's not true, but it is the guys in the community that were shitting on the Wii U. Now the Switch has no faults, and the guys that were love the Wii U seem to be the ones pointing out the Switch's faults. So crazy. I don't know what the reason is, but yeah, that's gonna be it for this podcast, and we'll see you guys next week.